on what?
That LGX AverMedia card. Those are $180 brand new, Janzer. I got it for $89 brand new.
Damn, game in the system. There you go.
Yeah, I was only fucker to bid on it.
Fucking a bit on it. And with that, everyone, welcome to the B3 GamingCast episode 14. This is your host. We had a little rolling start there. I had to let the show start a little bit so I could make sure that we had something going on there. And we've got Count as usual.
Hey, what's up, guys?
And Mr. Gamertron.
Hey, hi, how you doing? Count, I really appreciate you didn't invoke copyright this time. Thank you.
What?
I don't know.
I gotta see paperwork on this, Gamertron. If you're gonna have your attorneys contact me like you've already threatened, you sent me a cease and desist letter, and I told you I'm gonna need to talk to your attorneys.
Oh my! I just said I was appreciative of not you going, hey, hi, and then missing the how you doing at the end. I'm just saying I am very grateful that we are on our respective intellectual properties in terms of.
Okay, you're backing yourself into some.
Somebody's a little high and mighty tonight.
Yeah,
I'm just kind of I mean, I'm gonna try not to offend you tonight. I'm gonna try not to piss anybody off tonight. That is my goal.
Okay,
yeah,
that sounds fair.
That
sounds fair. I like that. I like that.
No, that's no fun.
No, I think.
Let it go, Tron. You know how this gets, so let it go. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm a hostess as well. There we go. Thanks for the host, of course, Mr. Gamertron, jumping in on that early.
I'm trying to get there. I'm having all sorts of tech. I'm a Windows 10 noob, so I'm fumbling around. So all right.
Yeah, we are up to 40 followers now. That's awesome. That's great on our B3 Gaming Cast on Twitch TV. Which you can go to B3 Gaming Cast if you want to see all the latest spaghetti eating.
Oh,
wait,
yeah, beautiful. What? Oh, beautiful.
Yes. Twitch is new. I'm just messing around.
I want to see you eat a big bowl of spaghetti on the stream.
The email that I was talking about prior to the podcast starting was that Twitch Creative added comedy, magic tricks, music, theater, and voice acting.
Voice acting.
That wasn't a thing before?
Yeah, apparently not. So I thought music was actually, but what they mean by music now is by being able to actually play like a guitar, because apparently you could not perform music legally or like without getting. Yeah, apparently. So
really?
Yeah,
which is weird. Twitch is really weird.
Twitch is really weird. You know, one of my
Twitch
things,
is getting weird. They really are.
One of my things about them is that reading a book, which could be considered a performance, is actually not okay with them. But
couldn't that be voice acting now?
Exactly. Stuffing your fat face with chicken wings is totally fine, totally redeemable, and humankind loves to see that. But actually, giving a storytelling with human beings is as old as human beings are, I think, Right. So it's a very natural thing, but no, not acceptable. So I keep everywhere, every chance I get, I keep prodding that little, sore spot. Yeah. Anyways.
Well, they have model building. I've seen guys do sculpturing, model building on there. They have drawing.
Right.
They have music.
Right, like a music channel to play like tracks is what that was, but not like if I want to play a flute, or something like that. I don't actually know how to play a flute. I did own one at one point, but I don't actually know how to play one.
Damn, I'd like to see Janzer.
No, I can play a few instruments.
What's that one? Never mind. What's that one instrument? Everyone, never mind.
Okay.
God, I can't think of it. Never mind.
I used to play in a couple of. I used to play in like
accordion.
No, I can't play an accordion. I thought it would have been interesting to learn, but I never had my hands on one. I think at most I played in like 5 bands at a time, maybe 6, something like that. That was at the height of my. Oh yeah. I was a jazz. Like I used to play jazz trombone.
Oh.
I played trombone.
Yeah. Well, there you go, man. We're gonna fucking duet and shit now. Let's do it.
No, because I quit after the 8th grade.
Oh, well then you kind of don't.
Sucked.
play.
Yeah. No, I used to play trombone in the band, but
one
yeah.
time.
The band director.
I was a clarinet man in high school. I don't remember if I deliberately
Blowing that
chose
wood.
the clarinet or if I was the clarinet was
the
forced upon
director was
me.
like, you've got some lips for wood.
Oh God!
Wait a second.
It's
it
quite
was forced on you.
embouchure you have.
Now all the clarinet guys when I went to school got all the pussy. So I mean, there you go. I'm serious. The clarinet guys were like rolling in it, dude.
Wow. A band member in general getting anything other than Scorn and being laughed at?
I mean, they were band skanks, but I mean, it was.
So we're talking the widest, widest.
Yeah.
The shortest, widest, and the skankiest. That's what they were getting. Wow, that's something.
Fightback 234 in the chat says, "Are you going to talk about Evolve Stage 2?" We talked about that last week.
Fightback, do you want us to talk about Evolve Stage 2? We'll talk about Evolve Stage 2 for you, just for you.
Oh, yes, for you.
Yeah. Speaking of, I saw a stat right now, up 16,000%. Evolve Stage 2. Evolve up.
Oh, isn't that insane?
16,000%. The fuck, man.
Well, I mean, what is up 16,000 from like 5 players?
Yeah, well, that's what I was looking at. If you go look at Steam stats now, in June, which was prior to the, and I was shaky on when they did Stage 2, like the exact date in July. But I was talking to Gamertron about this and jump in at any time. Of course, Mr. Gamertron, don't worry about interrupting me. But I was talking about in June, 100 players, I think 106 average players? Is that what I said? 106.2 average players. I'm very curious what a 0.2 of a person looks like. But,
this is what I've been saying since Evolve
arms.
came out. This is what I've been saying since Evolve came out. The game itself is a really good game. It's a really great multiplayer game, and I know more people would really enjoy it. But like I said,
way
this
more
when Evolve came out.
Overwatch. Triggered.
Yes.
Oh, well, that we can get into later. But the thing about Evolve is, like I said, it was the pricing model, the whole pricing model, the DLC controversy. That is the one thing that held this game back, because when you actually see the gameplay, when you actually play the game and you have a really good match, it's one of the best multiplayer games out there.
It's a crazy fun game when that happens, but they got off on a terrible start.
Do we blame 2K? Are we all in agreement here to blame 2K?
Absolutely.
All right, fair enough.
Yes.
Fair enough. Okay, wow. Okay, I expected some like a little. Well, I don't want to blame that,
but no,
I'm glad. That's good. Yeah, because clearly, look at the results.
Yeah.
Right. And we do know this. We're not foolish here. We're not like not seeing the fact that later on they are going to introduce a pricing model to certain things.
Of course,
there's going to be a microtransaction.
They have to make money. They have to make money.
But they're doing it the right way by at least giving people the option to play it for, like, literally free. Nothing. Okay, you do got to pay for your own computer, and you do have to pay. Well, maybe not. Maybe you go to a friend's house and like download it on theirs. Maybe you only play it at your friend's house. You got transportation costs. Or if you walk, you got to pay for food that's going to get you there. You got to pay for what? But come on. It's as free as can be, right? Yeah.
It's as free as a free sample at the grocery store. I'm shocked at some of the stuff they give as free samples at grocery stores. We recently, me and my family went to get out some groceries, and they were giving out like just plates of chicken and crackers and cheese. Like it was. Why go to a restaurant? I can eat for free at a local grocery store.
Hanging out. You're just hanging out there. It's like, hey, isn't that your 5th sample you took? Or no. That's something.
Actually, he just, and when they say that, he's like, hey, hi,
yeah, he changes his voice. Yeah.
Well, his mouth is full of food, so. Yeah. It's like, I'd like to tell you about, he just talks them. He could smooth talk his way into anything. Trust me, I'm sure he could.
Right, you'd be surprised what I've smooth talked my way into. I once smooth talked my way out of not paying for a taxi.
Oh, there you go. That's good. Good. You should have that skill. That is an important skill to have in today's world. All right. So yeah.
Yeah. So happy for Evolve. So happy for that game. I'm so happy. I'm so happy I get to play it with people again, because I'd solely play it with bots. And now we all have people to play with. It's wonderful.
Yeah,
Gramaton Dryad in the chat says he doesn't like it against the bots. Versus bots is pretty meh as a hunter.
Well,
that's his opinion. I mean, but
like the bots, like depending on how you go up against them and which bots they are, like depending on the monster, the hunter, the difficulty ranges all around. Because I find going up against and I think Janzer can attest to this, going up against the AI for Meteor Goliath is brutal.
Yeah, Meteor Goliath does not give a fuck. It does not care what you say. It is going to wreck you. I think
unstoppable.
I know that they've done a lot of balancing with the monster, and there's going to be a lot of balancing to continually happen as it's going. And this is where I was talking to Gamatron earlier, and I was like, everyone has to give credit to Digital Extremes for being like pretty much almost the first. What other game or what other company do you know that was able to successfully, for over 3 years now, run a free-to-play game the way that they have and set the role model for how this could work with other games? Because they got shut down so many times. Basically, they got shut down by every single publisher that they ever went to, and they were told that they're just going to fail. They're going to fail. They're going to fail. It's never going to work because, Western developers don't know how to continually update things. They worry too much about like the look of it and how good it looks, and they don't focus on putting out content. But Digital Extremes went against the grain, and they have, they had to let a lot of people go initially, and now they're back up like a extra 100 people, whatever. They just had their TennoCon, so as much as their fan base can be this
how
or that.
crazy is that?
What
How crazy is that, man?
Yeah.
Whatever free-to-play video game has its own convention.
Yeah.
How crazy is that?
Yeah, no,
That's
it's
true.
Yeah, absolutely. And they forewent going to something like E3. They basically did not go to these things that cost money because their creative director, I've always been a fan of, Steve Sinclair, was just like, we cannot afford X. We cannot afford to do all this crazy advertising. We can't afford that. What we can afford is developing this game and putting out the content and continually making changes and paying attention to our founders, which leads to a point that I've been working up to. The founders are part of the reason why they recognize it could be a successful game. So they did things early on in closed beta, gave out some stuff, one of them being like a Braton Vandal, Lato Vandal. Now, these were to closed beta players, not necessarily founders, actually, just anyone that was playing during closed beta time. So they recently decided to put a poll on the forum saying, are we going to give these things away to anybody now? Because they've been locked up to only closed beta players, because those players, they were rewards for playing early, If you play a game in closed beta, that's very rare, right? It's not, well, it's probably more common now than it used to be, but 3 years ago, I don't think it was as common. And so when you would get things, they were exclusives for being that tester. You knew things were not going to go well. You knew that you probably going to get your characters reset, yada, 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 right? So, but, if you got an exclusive, the word exclusive literally means someone else that comes along later is not going to get what you got then, because that was a short of that time period item that you were given. But now they want to give away these two exclusives. So the community, they put a poll out there in the community. If you tell people, hey, do you want these things that you haven't been able to have and you were never going to be able to have? Are they going to say no?
Right.
They're going to say, of course we want it. So the poll for should we open up these exclusives to anyone was a massive, landslide of yes, 97 to 3%, something ridiculous like that.
Oh.
Yeah, because the only people that are going to say no might be a few people with a little bit of integrity that are like, you know what, I don't have it, I was never going to get it, but I respect something called an exclusive, because that is going back to what I was talking about.
I gotta interrupt you here,
No,
Janser.
hold on. Going. I have to tie it back, because I have to be very explicit, but I'll let you get in there. I have to be very explicit. Going back to what Digital Extremes said themselves, they recognized that they owed it to their founders and the people that were early on that the game was going to succeed, because those were the only people that were backing them. So in order to show them that love, they did that kind of stuff. So what does this say now? What does this say now? That it's not a... Now, I have those items, and I am a founder of that game as well. So I'm very kind of on the fence. On one side, I'm like, it's an exclusive. You shouldn't be able to get it because that was part of the dedication of the time and the, putting in whatever it was and covering the stuff I covered, of course, the game and all that. That was an exclusive for that specific thing, for the reason of it being that's mine, bitch. You wasn't going to get it. I got there early. You didn't. For whatever reason, I don't care. But that's what an exclusive is. Get over it. Get over it. You're not going to get it. That's all it is. And on the other hand, I'm like, well, I don't really care if anybody else gets it. I mean, who cares? It's not like they're super powerful weapons. That leads to another point. A lot of the people saying that they want the weapons, they're actually trying to use this idea that, well, these weapons are not that great anyway, so might as well release them to the public. And I'm like, well, if they're not that great, then they don't mean anything to you. So why don't you leave them in the hands of the people that they do mean something to?
Right. Right.
So there's a few points that I'm like, I'm a little torn. I think that they should have let the closed beta, whoever's left, whoever still has it, which they can check all the accounts and allow those people to vote. Let them decide, But instead, they opened it up to the public, and that goes back to what I said. If you let somebody, hey, remember this thing you never got a chance to get? Do you want it? Well, of course I want it.
Right.
So now go ahead, Evatron. Sorry, but I just kind of had to. That's a package little piece of info I had to put out there,
Dude, I know you love Warframe. This is a game and a topic you're passionate about. But to go back to what you said earlier about dignity, like the people who said no, like
integrity.
the people who had integrity. Sorry,
yeah.
Well, words. It ended with an idiot or whatever the. Anyways, integrity. Like how? Okay, you need to explain this to me. How is there integrity in saying no? People shouldn't get access to this content.
I don't know where I used that exactly, so I can't really follow up with I don't know if I said people shouldn't get access because they don't have integrity.
You said the free percent. You said your words were the free percent who said no to the poll who have integrity.
Oh, I said okay. Of the 97%, there's going to be a few people that have some integrity. Maybe morals, principles that can understand. It's integrity and principles is really what it is. Morals have nothing to do with it.
They understand the definition of being exclusive.
Right. So if they had, because they're thinking, well, would I like that if I had jumped into this game? Would I like my exclusive for the time that I put in early for bug fixing and hunting and playing the game and telling them what's going wrong with it and sticking through it? Would I like for that stuff that they gave to me because they recognize that me as one of the early players gave them hope when everyone else was shutting them down? Would I like for that gift that they gave to me to be free? No, I got some integrity. I'm cool with missing out on something. But then there's the baby talk, and I call it baby talk because that's what it is. It's very immature stuff of, well, I'm a completionist, so therefore you should give it to me. I'm like, I don't care.
Oh, that's dumb. Someone actually wrote that?
That's yeah. Oh yeah. If you read those the form, which I do not recommend anyone going to the forums to read it, but if you do, you can see quite a range of responses. Some of them sound rational, but ration does not always equate logic, so it's just you can rationalize anything away, but that does not equate logic all of the time. So I don't know, I'm a little torn. I wish they would have left the decision up to the closed beta users or not even the founders. This has nothing to do with being a founder. This has everything to do with being one of the few that played as a closed beta user that might even still be playing now, and letting them. I'm pretty sure most of them have a heart, and because even I would have been like, yeah, sure, why not? I mean, I think that's kind of sucks in a way for me, but at the same time, fair enough. I've had my time with it. I'm not going to be that much of a dick and say no.
Right.
But
you'd have every right to have that attitude, in my opinion.
And that's why I said it comes back to integrity and principles.
Yeah.
And, my principle would be like, yes, I would want it to stay, exclusive, but I'm not that much of a,
elitist
that I want to, take it away from somebody else. Especially when some of the comments are like, well, I want that mastery XP. That's all. That's
just
not
dumb.
Showing the... That's not fair, man. To the people that jumped in there early when other people may have passed it off. Because Warframe was not an instant success at all. And even now, it's still kind of one of those games that I think enough players know about. But still,
it's kind of like a speakeasy type thing. It's still considered like a little bit of underground, you know, like you know
when
what
you
I mean?
get players like Angry Joe getting in there, that's changing it. You know?
Oh yeah, he's gonna jump on the bandwagon after he knows he can get some goddamn views out of it. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And that's also gonna give a lot of attention to it as well.
I would not say Warframe was an underground game at all. Just look at my top 20 Warframe video. It has over 1 million views.
I said that it's not exactly.
It's not talked like about a household name game though.
It's not talked about even like Borderlands.
Yeah.
You know, it's not. It's not of that level of prestige because I think a lot of people, and Steve kind of explained it in his own way, saying that even in the industry, a lot of people, this is coming from him. I put an article up online he was talking about this, where he says there's still a lot of people that they have to deal with that look at them as like, well, you did okay up till now, but you're going to fail.
We're just
waiting for you to fail.
You're not a real developer.
Exactly.
You're not a real studio.
Because they've had their
like
shit
that,
shows.
Even though,
they're the ones that did that Star Trek game that was horrible.
Right.
You know, people make fun of it in Let's Plays. You know, they have fun with it because it's so broken. You know, but once again, they had a chance to. In TennoCon, it was nice that these YouTubers and whatever people got a chance to go up there and kind of see what was going on because. They get a chance to tell other gamers that don't think about developers as people. They get a chance to see the human side of it. Like, these guys are doing a job. They're not trying to get themselves out of a job by pissing you off. They're trying to sustain what they have, and so they're going out of their way to create a con. Like, you know, like you said, somebody said, who else has a free-to-play game con? You know, they're going to do it again next year. So love them or hate them, whatever. There's still apparently a model that have shown a level of success that other people have said, you know what? Maybe it wasn't able to something that people could see done before, but now we're going to go ahead and give it a shot. And I think that, you know, maybe Turtle Rocks took a little bit of you know, a little bit from Digital Extremes and that and said,
well, maybe they should have done that from the get-go.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
now, how many
you're working under a publisher, they're not going to do that.
Digital Extremes? Like, how many turned them away? Like,
every single
like
one
20...
of them. Every single one. I don't know the number. Yeah.
You don't know the number. I thought I
But they
heard
even
the
went to
number.
other they went to like China. They went to other countries and everyone said, no, it's going to fail. It's never been done. It's going to fail. And you're not going to be able to do what, you know, other free-to-play games do in Asia, for example. You know, you just can't. Western developers can't do that.
And now they're kicking themselves. Now I bet some of them are kicking themselves.
I think so, but
no,
it's also a little bit
not.
some of the well, okay, you're doing fine, but you're gonna fail. You know, that kind of too. So
here's the thing you got to understand about a lot of these publishers. Like a lot of these publishers, when it comes to like the people in charge of these publishers, they're
clueless.
They're so they're outdated. They believe in business models that just don't work for video games.
Yeah, and they're out of touch with gamers. You know what I mean? They don't have the pulse of the actual gamers.
Right.
You know, up to date. You know, so
this is when a developer has full control of their game and the publisher doesn't have a hand in it, the dev is able to do some incredible things. They really are. It's a miracle that a game like Warframe, like Evolve, hell, even Titanfall, it's a miracle these games even got made because they have concepts, they have gameplay mechanics, they have business models that a lot of publishers sneer at, like, it's not Call of Duty, it doesn't follow the Call of Duty business model.
Right. And I understand the importance of business models as well. I mean, it's pretty much like there's a lot of what I do that translates into that as because I'm a developer, not of games, but, you know, of code.
Right.
And so there's a lot of that crosses over. That's why I look at what they do, and they're probably my favorite, you know, developer. Just because I love the fact that they were like, you know, against the odds kind of thing. I love that. And I love a creative director that's like, we're going to radically change things. We're going to change the movement system. We're going to fully change how damage works. We're going to, you know, I like the big changes. I really do.
Right.
And honestly, it keeps shit fresh. If it didn't, they wouldn't continue to have the numbers that they have. They wouldn't continue to increase in the amount of players that they have playing, regardless of, you know, people saying X is good or not good, blah, blah, blah. They're still doing things right. You got
just the fact that they named the game Warframe. They could have named it Space Ninjas or something more mainstream, but like they took a chance on the name. I mean, what is a Warframe? That's the first thing that pops in your head. What the hell's a Warframe?
Yeah, definitely some of it's by the seat of their pants. You can absolutely see it. And
I mean, you see the title Space Ninjas, and you're like, oh, I know what a Space Ninja is going to be. You know what I mean? I know what that is. You know, or Space Samurai or whatever you're going to, you know, some mainstream name. But they even took a risk with the name, so that was kind of cool.
Honestly, when you think about Warframe is a play on battle armor, because a frame is like, it could be associated with armor and war. Well, war, battle, so it's basically battle armor.
That's not a term you use. You know, you use the term ninja on a weekly basis. You know what I mean? You're talking about a ninja or something, you know, like the fuck is a Warframe? You know, I never... That's the thing that I was scratching my head about the game when I first saw it in the beta, when they announced it, and I was like, that's kind of weird. You know,
well, this is what I love about games, guys, because video games, the video game industry, and people give gaming shit. And you know what? Gaming does deserve some shit, especially the publishers, when they fuck things up royally. They deserve to have shit thrown in them like, hey, dude, you're screwing over the customer. This is not a good business move for the customer. You're turning people away. You're losing money. In your attempt to make money, you're losing money instead. Like, they deserve to be called out on the BS, but the thing I love about gaming is that it's not affected by politics. Like, if you look at the movie industry, the TV industry, and just news media in general, they're heavily influenced by politics. Like, you can tell they're pushing some sort of agenda, and this is why I love games. This is why I love games so much, because they're about...
It's wagging the dog, they say, instead of the dog wagging... You know what I mean?
Exactly!
Like a flip-flop. Yeah.
Like, with games, developers are able to tell stories, share experiences, and do what they want to do for themselves. They make games that they themselves find fun. Like, which is why I'm so against Call of Duty, because while it's not pushing a political agenda... It's close to it, where it's like we're going to do the same thing year after year. We're not.
Well, that's commercialized. I mean, it's become
it's commercialized. That's
overly commercialized. Honestly, it's like Christmas nowadays.
I can even understand a level of that. You know, when you get so big, it's hard. Imagine it like a ship. You know, you need more power to change course the bigger the ship is.
Right.
So it's and then. You know, the more power you have to change course, you also have to worry about like upsetting the people that are riding. You know,
could you imagine the pitch man for a big change in Call of Duty? He goes into the executive office and says, "All right, guys, here's my pitch." Yeah, they'd walk him out. They would immediately get on the phone to the secretary, have security come up and walk his ass out. I know we're making $1 billion on the game, but just hear me out here.
We're going to change.
We're going to change everything.
Yeah.
Please get security up to the boardroom, and we're going to escort you out of the building.
Line.
So you're not going to. It's not going to happen.
Right. Yeah. Digital Extremes, as brave as they were, I mean, they had about 200 some odd.
They had nothing to lose.
Right. They lost a lot of employees because they were losing money anyways, but they wanted to do what they were doing, so they did that. But they were still at the point of like a little bit desperate. And when you're a little desperate like that, you will go to some crazy lengths to get things done, and they did. So it just they stuck to it, and there you go.
Probably has a cheese emote. I think that's what is that like?
I don't know. I don't care. I don't care what they're
doing. I don't know.
For our listeners in the chat, one of the viewers is posting emotes of cheese with a smiley face on it, and it's very amusing.
It's like smelly cheese. Oh well. Anyway.
Yeah.
That's lovely. Okay.
You don't care about cheese, Janser?
I don't care about the chat.
Oh, the chat. I thought you didn't care about cheese. I live for cheese. Anyway.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't care about being derailed. I
gotta ask about favorite cheese, guys. Favorite cheese. Mine has to be mozzarella. Love me some mozzarella cheese. You guys?
I have to go with you there. Yeah.
Mozzarella.
Yeah, my cholesterol. Yeah. But anyway.
Oh, mozzarella with garlic on it. Oh.
Hey, this isn't a food podcast, buddy. All right. We are on Twitch, but it's not a food podcast.
We could change to the food. We could do that, but then we'd have to have somebody munching on screen.
Oh, Lord.
Well, we can rotate every week. I volunteer first week.
There you go.
Dancer's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
No, I don't care. I was thinking I'll put the camera on my dog eating from his bowl.
Oh.
What? It's a dog. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's funny though.
Yeah.
Okay, to bring the topic back to game, there's some news that came out this week that I am very happy to report on, but at the same time I'm a bit pissed over. Star Wars Battlefront. Star Wars Battlefront. It's been announced and confirmed.
You're taking my shit.
Oh yeah, it was Count's turn. I just kind of went on a tangent.
Go ahead, Gamertron. Go ahead. I'm just kidding. I might add something. Go ahead.
Star Wars Battlefront. I'm gonna add that to the list of stuff.
Okay,
yes. Count has it.
5 days from now, July 20th, on a Wednesday this month, Star Wars Battlefront is going to be getting a free update for everyone. Where guess what? They're actually adding some single player content.
Yes.
About time.
Are you talking about skirmish mode?
Yes.
Yes.
Skirmish mode.
What?
They're adding.
It sounds like a single player. Skirmish mode?
No, it's not single player. It's offline mode.
Oh,
yeah,
with bots.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Here's the thing, like the original Star Wars Battlefront and Star Wars Battlefront 2, the original Battlefront games, this was in the game at launch. And now, Star Wars Battlefront, EA's Star Wars Battlefront, has been out for over half a year without a proper offline mode with bots that games over a decade ago launched with. And, like, again, I'm really happy for this. It gives me a reason to go back to Star Wars Battlefront and try out the multiplayer game modes with bots. It's going to be fucking awesome. I don't need to worry about matchmaking. I don't need to worry about players with a higher skill level than me. I can just play and enjoy. But I'm pissed that took them a year, like half a year. It took them half a year to implement something that other devs have at their game at launch. It blows my mind. It just blows my mind. Like, why would you not have this in the game at launch? Why did it take you half a year?
Because they launched with the new movie. They rushed the game. They had to rush the game out for the new movie. They had to get it out for the new movie.
Last podcast, I think, when Gamertron, when you brought up something about Street Fighter V finally adding their story mode. See, I said it wasn't essential because that wasn't the primary function of that game. Which, by the way, Evo 2016 has been going on. EVO, if you watch that fighting. I watch a little bit of that. I like fighting games. But this, in my opinion, is something that they should have put into Battlefront. And I think a lot of people probably would agree as well. Yeah. This is more of an egregious thing versus something like there's no story mode in Street Fighter. Nobody fucking give a fuck. But in Battlefront, that impacts the playability of it, the replayability of it, and you know that. And you've said it. Maybe they watched one of your videos.
But what I'm looking forward to is the Death Star DLC.
Oh yeah, that got announced too. It got a teaser trailer.
Yeah, the two new playable heroes or villain hero is Bosk the Bounty Hunter and Chewbacca. Yes.
Finally, we've been waiting for Chewie
I can't
forever.
wait to play Bosk. I mean, he's always been a really cool bounty hunter.
Oh yeah, so. Bosk too. Like
I was wanting IG-88. The IG-88's the one I really wanted, but Bosk, that'll work. That'll be cool. No doubt.
And Chewbacca that's gonna be awesome. Seeing Chewie on the battlefield.
Cool. They didn't have much about it. They had a little trailer, but they also announced that their next DLC is going to be has to do with the Rogue One movie, which we saw that coming anyway. So they're gonna have some Rogue One throwback stuff.
But it's not gonna have that one actor guy that was in the latest.
Poe Dameron.
Poe, is that his name?
Poe Dameron.
Yeah.
No, they announced the two playable characters too, and I can't remember. One's like a commander, one's like a director or something. I forget. I can't remember. I have to look it up. But yeah, I might be going back to Battlefront as well. I always liked Battlefront.
Oh, same here. Like it's a really well-made game. The problem is, like, all the necessary content to, like, keep you coming back, they added months after launch. Like, they eventually added a challenge system and, like, daily rewards and all that stuff months after the game came out.
I don't really care about that stuff in a Star Wars game, though. I mean, I'm just talking about me personally. I'm there for the graphics and the sound effects and just the nostalgic feeling of playing the game. I feel like I'm in the Star Wars movie. So
that's why I played Star Wars Battlefront 2 as well, Count. But I look at it from a multiplayer gamer perspective.
You're looking for it more of a long-term like investment in the game. Right, exactly.
Yes, and not for me, just for the game itself, because I want games to do well. I never want a video game to fail, unless it's Call of Duty. And I want games to do well. I want players to come back and enjoy them, because I want people to see the beauty that every game has to offer. And Star Wars has beauty in its gameplay mechanic, its visuals, of course. The graphics in that game are fucking astounding.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of gamers where they need incentive. They need incentive to come back to play. The gameplay is just not enough for them. They need goals. And unfortunately, Star Wars Battlefront didn't have goals.
Yeah.
Thuragon says, why are they putting Bosk? He was only in the film. He was only in Empire Strikes Back for like 5 seconds. What you don't understand is he's been in the comic book treatments. He's been in the other stories. Timothy Zahn stories. They had a whole series about the bounty hunters.
Oh, so yeah, I wouldn't have known that either.
Yeah, he's a big part of the Star Wars universe. All those bounty hunter guys are. So, yeah. But I'm just,
Oh, so Count, maybe you can fill us in. In Star Wars Battlefront's last DLC, the Bespin one, who was the
I
bounty
don't have
hunter?
the best. I don't have Bespin. I never got the Bespin.
Oh, but did you see the trailers and stuff for it?
Yeah. Go ahead and ask your question, and I'll tell you if I know or not.
Who's the new villain hero? He's apparently a bounty hunter. Like, they ended Landel Calrissian for the heroes, but the new villain, I don't know who the hell he is, and I don't remember seeing him in any of the movies.
I would have to look that up, because I don't know off the top of my head, Gamertron, to be honest with you. Because I played that game when it first came out with the movie, because I was hyped, like everybody else, and I played for about 2 months, and then all my friends stopped playing, so I stopped playing. So I lost touch with the game. So I would have to look. I can't, right off the top of my head, I do not know.
No problem, man. No problem.
I should know that, though. I should know that, but I do not.
And it's interesting that you bring that up, that all your friends stop playing the game like months after release. That's a big thing with multiplayer games nowadays.
Really.
There's a lot of competition. There is so much fucking competition. We have Call of Duty, Counter-Strike. We now have Overwatch in the mix. We have League of Legends.
A couple of my PS4 buddies stopped. They played Rainbow Six Siege, the game that you guys like.
Yeah, there's another game right there. There's so many multiplayer games right now. Like, it almost seems like there's too much competition. Like there's too much.
And it's interesting that you bring that up. Do you have a specific point about that? Because I do.
Oh, no, I'm interested to hear what your point is. Like, I was just going to
Yeah,
please, Jens.
And it absolutely relates a little bit to Overwatch and Evolve. I'm pretty sure people. Maybe they've heard about it, but the news about Overwatch toxicity and rage quitting has kind of been going around, and I'm just kind of like, yeah, that's going to happen, because any game, especially when you start putting in a competitive mode in it. No, that's not true. But it's kind of true. Competitive does help to ruin games in some ways. But games over time are just going to get that level of toxicity naturally, right? So. They're Blizzard's trying to figure out how do we combat that. So they're trying to put out different patches to curb bad behavior, but more importantly, incentivize good behavior, or give rewards to good behavior. Because that's really where you're going to be able to affect things. And they've been able to do it really well, I believe, with Dota 2 or whatever. So that's kind of like the model everybody brings up when they talk about, like, how do you combat toxicity. From in my reading, at least, what I've seen is people bring that up a lot. So yeah, I'm just like, yeah, it's gonna happen. People talk about like how the chat's really bad in Overwatch and blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah, that's always going to be an issue, and I worry about that with Evolve as well, because now that there's such an influx of people, people are going to want to get better at the game, and that means that they're going to want to know the meta. And once you start playing that game for a certain period of time, people are going to expect that everybody else gets as good as they do, as quickly as they do, or at whatever pace they get, good. And if you don't, that's when the toxicity starts being introduced as well. Is people assuming, oh, why aren't you just a better monster? Why aren't you a better trapper? Why aren't you better medic? Why are you playing medic if you don't know how to play that role?
Well, then you counter that question with, why aren't you a better person?
Well, because they don't actually say why. They tell you you're a piece of shit. You know how it goes. So, That to me, the other day I was thinking about this, and it led to me, saying something on Twitter like, competitive and knowing meta is one thing. That's perfectly fine. But at the end of the day, most gamers are not going to be playing for money, so fucking quit your shit.
Oh, I got
Just
that.
have a good time. Know the meta. If you need to know the meta, great. But what meta also does, meta streamlines what needs to be done. It's very specific towards very specific goals. What it does, on the other hand, is it crushes creativity. And that was a big thing when I played MMOs. I learned that way back in the day. It absolutely crushes any creativity or any amazing gameplay that could occur, because all you're doing is playing cookie cutter shit. You need to know the perfect timing, perfect rotation, perfect blah, blah, blah. Have the exact armor, have the exact weaponry, have the exact whatever it is, Count, I'm sure you fucking had to deal with a lot with that in DCUO,
Well, yeah, DC Universe, one guy makes a loadout video that's pretty much the standard.
Right.
Like this is if you're a firepower character, this is your loadout. And then all the other YouTubers just copy that same loadout and put up their videos. I'm like, why? And people were like, why don't you make loadout videos, Count? And I was like, I only make the loadout video from the character that I know. I'm not. Why would I just copy? I said you can go to 100 other YouTube channels on DC Universe and they'll have the same exact fucking loadout video. Why do I need to do it? So I always made one like a hybrid. I made like a hybrid loadout video, something that nobody uses. To try to kind of just be a little different. But by the way, Dengar was the bounty hunter, Gamertron.
Okay.
He was in Empire Strikes Back for like 5 seconds. Yeah, they showed him in Empire. So
was he in the comics?
Oh, he's been in stories and comics. He was big in that big bounty hunter. They had a like an ongoing. This is like 15, 20 years ago. They had like a bounty hunter series books.
Yeah,
like Rise of the Bounty Hunters. Yeah, he was a big part of the. Dengar
was
a big part of
okay. Then now I understand why he's in the game then.
Because
I just didn't know who he was. Like, who the hell is this guy? Why is he a hero in the game?
If you see that scene in Empire Strikes Back where Darth Vader's like talking to Boba Fett, and there's like 4 other bounty hunters in the background, Dengar's one of them. Yeah, it's IG-88 boss, Dengar, and there's another one, like, there's one more, and I can't remember off the top of my head, but...
Just remember,
Pizza
no
face.
Disintegration.
Yeah,
no disintegration.
Yeah, no disintegration. Calrissian. I'm sorry. Yeah, I really sound like James Earl Jones. Really? He's not a black guy, though. Yeah,
James Earl Jones? Oh, okay, fair enough.
Anyway,
James Earl Jones is black. What are you talking about?
We talked about this. We talked about this on another. No, that was a different podcast.
No, that was another podcast.
Yeah, he's like Cherokee Indian. He's part black, part Cherokee Indian, and something else.
That specific topic is close to my heart because I often. Not often, but in real life, I often have to discuss what being from or being a like Native or Native American type of background really is. And there's actually that kind of leads to another topic. There's actually a really good movie that if you guys have Netflix, you should watch. It's called Real Indian. And
no, we're going to do this right, Jan. This is Janzer's pick of the week. Go.
Sure. I've watched it a long time ago.
You always do this. That's good.
Yeah. I think even Gamertron has some, so we can roll right into that.
Yeah.
But this one's an older one. It's called REEL, Real, like as in a film reel, Real Indian.
Oh,
and
clever.
It does a little bit.
I saw the thumbnail for that. I didn't watch it, but I saw the thumbnail.
You like history, so you'd probably get a kick out of it too. But it
doesn't have the crying. It doesn't have the stereotypical crying Indian where he sees litter on the highway, and then it shows that
does
Indian
talk
with
about
like
that,
a tear.
And that guy's not even native. But
right? Exactly.
But
exactly.
The important thing is it helps to at least let people understand that being like James Earl Jones, what you're talking about, he's very mixed background.
Yeah, he's all
Because there were African Americans that were brought over, and a lot of them were down in the South, and you had a lot of like natives in that area that were there as well. So they, you get a mix of people, especially Louisiana had such a mix of, you got French up in there, you got everything, you got Spanish, you got Portuguese, you got whatever. Yeah. So it's very, 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 very mixed. And when it comes to natives, like I'm actually half Native American. So nice. It's and there's even that whole thing about like, well, is it Native American? Is it First Americans? Is it, Indian? Is Indian even proper anymore? It really depends on the person you talk to, right. And even like tribe related stuff. There's stuff that isn't even recognized by the United States because like Texas might, well, here we go. Well, I am going to be doing some live cam stuff upcoming this week because I have the week off, so might as well get some history out of the way here. But like my, I guess, history of people, half of them, like the half of me that's like native, and the other half that's Euro trash. But
oh, great.
The half, I know. The half of me that is, it comes from like people that were in Texas. They were just in Texas. They weren't any specific like Apache, blah, 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 blah. Because that's not how things always worked. They were just there living in their groups around, and they would get hit by bigger, groups. Sometimes Apaches come through, hit them for their food, whatever. This is just what life was, So they'd go around, sometimes starving, sometimes not. When you had like all of these missions go up, these natives of the land would be like, the missionaries would go out there and say, hey, look, if you come and convert to, Jesus Christ or whatever, we will give you shelter. We will give you food. And they're like, well, shit, shelter and a place to live and not get attacked by crazy psychos on horseback. Right. Hell yeah, we'll do that. So that's why like people say, people wonder, well, how do you have this last name? You have that last name for a lot of people because it's part of the Spanish or Portuguese like last names that were there, or French, or whatever it was that was in that region at that time that were people integrated with. So in order to have a paper trail, a lot of the native people didn't have a fucking paper trail. That was not a system that they built like deeds and all that shit. It wasn't an important thing. So in order to get like, well, how did you get that name or whatever? It's like, well, that's because at some point along the line, you got to have a name. You got to have to be in the structure that exists in the United States or Texas even back then. You had to be in a system. So they would hand out names. You go to the missions and okay, now you are a whatever, this or this. So that's what it was. So, but so to me, that's a real Indian will kind of give people a little bit of an idea of what it's, the kinds of things that you have to deal with when you're of mixed culture, mixed race, whatever. There's also some other like good like native film out there, but I'll leave it to y'all to figure it out yourself. And you can hit me up if you want the titles because I can't quite remember all of them. There's only like 3 or 4 that are really good. Because they're actually by like fully native people and actually star native people, a lot of the times it's not. So, and then a lot of times if you like look up, what does it look like? What does a Native American look like? It just, you get these, well, they have to be light skinned with straight black. That's not always the fucking case. Right. That's not always the fucking case, but, that is, that's that whole thing about like, the assumptions and expectations of what people think certain things are. So I'm very touchy on that subject sometimes. But I don't even know how we got onto that.
I was talking about James Earl Jones.
There you go. Yeah, it just reminded me. I was like, yeah, that's right. They were.
Well, they were saying Darth Vader, the character of Darth Vader, is racist. They were saying that. They were complaining about people saying that, and it's like, did they realize? What? Yeah, I don't want to go into it. It's on a channel called The Amazing Atheist. He's one of my favorite YouTubers.
Oh, that guy. But I used to watch him. I used to be subbed to him. But then he did so many videos at one point that were blatant, like, give me your money. And I appreciated the straightforwardness of it, but sometimes he wasn't very straightforward with it.
I like to watch his live cast. I don't really watch his videos, but I do watch his little podcast called The Drunken Peasants.
I'm sure he's changed
no, he's still.
No,
he's a money grubbing He's a money grubbing whore. Yeah, but that's fine. He's still entertaining. His crew is still entertaining. So
yeah, as long as you know what you're getting into, you know. Yeah, you don't lie to yourself and admit that you're a piece of shit and you're okay with that.
I can't watch Amazing Atheist. I can't watch.
I used to.
When he it just like there was a point where I did watch him, but then he reviewed Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen, and these are his exact words. People who like that movie should be put in a concentration camp and shot. Like, after he said
he's
that,
doing
like,
that for shock value, Gamertron. He's saying that for shock value. I mean, he's trying to get views, man. You just have to.
He lives off of that.
Yeah, but it gets to a point where there are some things you just don't say. Like, you like this movie, you should be shot and killed.
Words.
Yeah,
no,
words,
it's true.
man.
It's true. It is words. Comedians are allowed to say whatever they want to, and they fight for that right. You know,
we got into this last week, man.
Yeah. It's not. We're not going to go down that route again. If anyone who wants to know, episode 13, that's where the cast gets fighty.
I'm just saying,
I once again have to make a public apology to Gamertron. Yeah, I mean, I know, really. I said something that he found offensive. Oh, it was actually a compliment.
Okay.
The way I use it, way I use that phrase, the way I grew up, it's a compliment. You know, so I'm just saying. I just wanted to get that.
I know, man. No, dude. Yeah. It wasn't for my sake. It was for the sake of other people. Like, it wasn't for. Like, I'm sorry.
The ones that are not listening. Anyways,
people that I don't know and I've never known, and I'm not making assumptions about people I don't know. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, or I've never seen or watched. So. Yeah, it was just something for,
You're choking me up, Count.
When we see a good-looking girl go down the street, it's like, oh, that's a bad-looking bitch. Oh, that's not an insult. That's a fucking compliment.
But it's a regional, cultural, blah, 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 blah.
Exactly. Gamertron was probably raised differently.
Related thing. Yeah, different times, generations, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Of course.
That's
of
a bad,
course. But at the same time,
we got that from Eddie Murphy. Oh, look at that. That's a bad-looking bitch right there.
Yeah. At the same time, that basic level
of disrespect.
It's a basic level of respect. And only weak-minded people would be unable to understand that. So, going on with... It sounds like bullshit. Valve cracking down on CSGO skin. I have here this.
Yeah,
Valve cracks down on CSGO skin thing. That's what I have.
Yeah, but they were all part of it. That's like the mafia cracking down on themselves, isn't it? I mean, weren't they part of this? I mean, or are they just going to allow their own sponsored people to do it? Or, I mean, what's the deal? The
best way to handle it is to lie.
Deny.
Deny. Look, we're shutting
down
down the sites, so they're shutting down. I think that what is it? I can't remember.
And I'm the fucking Pope.
They're not letting them get basically data from, they're shutting down like third-party access or whatever to their, I can't remember, the API to those sites or whatever. So they have connections, they can see all that stuff. All they have to do is get somebody on it. But like with Greenlight, of course, they don't have like actual employees dedicated to do anything about looking at the games that are coming through and getting, approved or whatever. So that is, it is what it is. Valve is very hands-off. We know that because look at their comments. It's like, I guess we got to do something about that.
Right. and I love the apology. I'm going to start the video, and I ought to do an apology video to Gamertron where I start off and I'm talking to my cat. How am I going to make this video? I don't know I'm going to make this video.
Yeah.
That was, oh my God, that was so cringe. That video was just...
Yeah.
We talked about that last week. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay, man. It's okay.
Fucking, that's just pathetic.
Yeah.
How can that dude live with himself after making that video? Just don't make an apology video. Just admit you're a piece of shit.
Can you tell those of us that don't know what you're talking about what you're talking about?
Oh, I'm talking about T. Martin.
There you
go. The famous YouTuber that's made millions of dollars, and then, it's all part of the CSGO Lato scam. Sure, I made it I made everyone know that, I was the owner of that site. No, you didn't. He always stepped around that in his videos. Oh, I found this site, is what he said. I found this site. He would say in his videos. How do you find something you own? Really? That's like me going outside and going, "Oh, look at this car I just found."
Yeah.
You know, that's in my driveway. You know, it's,
yeah, that's happened to countries. That's happened to countries before, man.
Yeah. Anyway, go on. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to derail.
No. They did their first steps of cracking that. We'll see how far it goes. We'll see how much they're going to have to actually pay for. How much can they get away with not being responsible for what they let go on until people lost money and cried about it enough, and then people got caught. So. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad Valve is doing this, but it seems like it took a scandal this big to get your shit together, Valve. Like, I love Valve for what they've done for PC gaming, Steam Summer Sale, Steam, all that. Like, Valve is a great company, but when it comes to certain aspects, like, they just flat out ignore the pollution going on Steam Greenlight. They ignored the CS:GO gambling thing, and what else have they ignored? I know they ignore some things.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Their wives, their children.
Oh. Okay, not that far.
Just crappy indie developers that steal other assets that fucking...
Oh, yes, asset flipping, reselling games.
That's what I said.
Steam.
Steam Greenlight's a big thing, too. It's a big problem. There's that one, like, quote-unquote publisher that says, hey, if you pay us X amount of money, we'll make sure your shit gets Steam, green-lighted. But we're not gonna talk about that. We'll go ahead. They were, like, giving out free games to people that would join that, like, publisher on Steam, and then they would say, we're going to give you these keys, and you may want to go give a like to these games that need to get published on
Are we talking about YOLO Army?
I didn't want to bring it, but yes, that's correct. Yes. Yeah, it's been in the news. That's why I was just like, it's nothing new. I'm sure people have heard about it. But that is definitely a nice little scam, hustle, whatever, because it's technically within... nobody said no yet. That's that thing. Well, no one said you couldn't, so therefore we're going to do it. And that's exactly what happened. So
Valve really needs to get their shit together when it comes to
They need to put somebody
like
on it. That's all they need to do is put someone on it, and that's it. They need to pay a few people to actually take care of it.
Yeah, just a few. Like, I hear the argument get brought up, well, Valve can't do it. Like, it would cost them too much money. They'd have to hire teams of teams. No? They just need a few people. Yeah. They just need a few people to moderate, and that's it.
Just look at the applications for the games that are coming in, and it's like, okay, this is a piece of shit. You clearly stole all of these assets. Fuck you. Get out of here.
Valve's a little like the Wild West, though. You know what I mean? And I don't want too much regulation on it.
You don't. You know what I mean? After an amount of bullshit that is on record,
you got to do something.
You got to do something. Otherwise, we have more of these CS:GO skin-related bullshits. And then your company shut down.
And then it's drawing unwanted attention from somebody that we might not want unwanted attention from, like the federal government, shit like that. And then, it all snowballs. So
somebody made too much money somewhere. That's all. Yeah, that's what I know happened. Someone made too much money, and therefore someone else was like, you know what? I need a piece of that money.
Yeah. So Wesley Snipes has to go to prison, right?
Speaking of money, I cannot fucking believe that people spend thousands of dollars on CS:GO skins. Why?
Remember the Beanie Babies? Oh, you probably don't remember. 20 years ago, the Beanie Babies, Furbies.
Yeah. And anything, you can fill that with anything.
And that'll go into my next topic that I'm going to bring up.
I'm sure
that's going to feed my next topic.
Talk about it. I know what you're going to
I mean, I have a major announcement. I hate to drop this bombshell in the middle of the cast.
Don't tell me.
I have a major announcement. But
I don't want to hear it.
This week, shut up, Janser. I don't want to talk, man. I'm having a hard enough time getting through this, okay? I had to quit my job this week, and this will be my last episode of the podcast. I'm dropping the bomb here. I am a full-time Pokemon Go player now.
I knew you were going to fucking say that.
I'm devoting my life to Pokemon Go.
And another one bites the dust.
My YouTube channel is being closed down. I'm starting a new one. All Pokemon Go stuff. Hold on. Bulbasaur's in my backyard right now. I'll be back.
Take your shotgun. Just remember, take your shotgun with you. You never know what you're going to see out there.
Hey, honey. Yeah, Bulbasaur's in the backyard. Yeah. Okay, you got him? All right. Okay, she's got my back this time.
That's okay. I knew you were going to. I knew it.
Oh, hey,
it was nice. It was nice having you on the podcast. I got to say,
Hey, Jansen, you respect my boundaries here,
I do,
right?
and I appreciate your time that you've
this
given
shit.
us.
Oh my God.
This shit is my life now.
Yeah.
Let me talk about Pokemon Go for a minute.
Please,
Okay?
go ahead, because I didn't want to hear about it, but let's do it anyway.
I know you don't want to. I knew Jansen was going to go. I
But
don't
here's the
fucking
thing,
want
here's the
this
thing.
brought up on the
Really
goddamn
quickly,
podcast.
It's not about spite or hate. I actually am neutrally do not care about it. That's it. But go ahead, please.
Give me 5 minutes.
Yeah.
man.
You and Gamertron, go for it.
Give me 5 minutes. Jansen's like, I'm going to go order some food.
Yeah, I'll be right
back in 20 minutes after count stops talking about this.
I've got some porn
crap.
to attend to.
Yeah, there you go. Jerk one for me, buddy. All right. But anyway,
Some Pokemon
So
Go
anyway,
Rule 34.
okay, Pokemon. My experiences with Pokemon Go this week. My wife is obsessed with this fucking game. All right. Now my wife and I share a cell phone. She had me walking. But for one, there was people calling into work this week to play Pokemon Go. All right, so I had to do extra work. Yeah.
You're fucking kidding me.
Oh, no. There's dudes at work that are catching Pokemons in the bathroom where I work. Okay? They're walking around. I'm like, somebody's got to get a fucking handle on this. Can I get a fucking boss or something to fire some of these
eat
douchebags?
a nice big breakfast and
then
just bomb that toilet.
Yeah,
And be like, hey guys, I found it's a Scalix.
Crap-
I don't know what they're
it's
called.
Crapasso.
Yeah.
Crapasso is in the
Found
fucking...
a poopa-doop.
Poopa-doop.
I don't know what to call them.
We have the name for the title for this episode. Poopa-doop.
Oh,
Anyway,
I think it's Pokemon. The cast has gone Pokemon. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, Grammaton, Miss Count is obsessed with it. Oh, yeah, she's wanting me to go walking. Oh. Okay, this is my Thursday.
Yeah.
I took a vacation day. She's like, come down to the post office for me because it's a fucking, I got eggs at the post office. I'm like, what the fuck are you ordering eggs for? She goes, no, it's Pokemon eggs that need to hatch. And then she's trying to make me walk a mile around the goddamn track.
What does this
to hatch
mean?
these goddamn The fucking servers are going down every 2 minutes. I walked all the way goddamn to the post office. Across the street, supposedly, is a fucking Pokemon gym. There's a gym. I said, it's a fucking rock, baby.
How do eggs
there's nothing
hatch
there.
from walking?
I don't know. I fucking don't know this shit.
You know their stock went up more than more than it was possible.
It was
in a
like
day.
83%
I
jump.
think they capped out, and they capped out at like 25% or whatever on whatever fucking index that they're supposed to. Like, in order to stop the company from going like radically like changing, they have to cap out. But they were just they're ridiculous. Overall, 80%, I believe. Yeah, it has done. Oh, go ahead, please.
He's got me going on wild goose chases, and the fucking servers won't stay up. Okay. Oh my god, dude. And it's just, and there's people getting hit by cars. I saw a person, I almost got hit by a guy that was playing the fucking game while he was driving.
Oh, that's good, because we don't have enough people in phones, in cars already.
And there's bad enough drivers around here anyway. Anytime I drive to work, it's like the end scene to Escape from fucking New York. If you've never seen, where he's navigating the mine on the bridge. That's the way it is. And I'm telling you, man.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I have a friend that's actually getting a party. He's getting a party of people together and going to Dayton, Ohio, to fucking walk around some park to hunt Pokemon.
That's some hardcore shit because no one wants to go to Dayton, Ohio. That has got to be some crack. That is some heroin.
I'm about an hour. I'm about 45 minutes from Dayton, Ohio.
Wow.
So, I'm just sitting here going. There's dudes at work going. Everyone has to go to the bathroom. Oh, I gotta go to the bathroom for a minute. And they got their phone. You're not even supposed to have your phone at work. You're not supposed to have your phone out on the production floor at work. Because you could get hit by, I don't know, a fucking forklift or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, so.
People missing.
That's my week of Pokemon Go, man.
Go.
My wife is sitting there telling me this list of Pokemon she's got, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, in my local news, I saw articles about Pokemon Go accidents and somebody mapped out everything.
There's a woman suing.
Blah, blah, blah.
They had a video of this woman going, and I'm sorry about this. Her daughter got killed walking across the highway on rush hour because the Pokemon. Yeah, and she got killed. It was in Cincinnati, I think, and they interviewed the lady, And they're agreeing with her. They're like the reporter sitting there goes, yeah, the Pokemons lured my daughter across this busy road.
This Pocket
Get
Mans,
the fuck out of here.
Pocket Mans are evil.
And there's a guy that fell off a cliff.
What?
I mean,
wow.
Yeah. I mean, one dude said he quit his job. That's how I came up with my quit the job joke. But no, I'm not quitting the podcast. Probably people are disappointed about that. I'm back to reality here. Okay. I was tempted by the prospect of it, but anyway.
Oh
that's
my
God. Week of Pokemon Go. I'm not gonna talk about it anymore. All right.
Well, I'm gonna talk about it now. This thing came out of nowhere. This came out of nowhere, and I don't know if you guys have been following the news. This has like fucking quadrupled Nintendo stocks. They are making a goddamn killing. They were having financial troubles. Before Pokemon Go launched, they were having financial troubles. Not anymore, they're not.
Well, they're having server troubles now. Their servers have been down like most of the day.
Yeah.
How I know this, I don't know. Fine.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just like I know my niece and my sister were playing it and whatnot, and I'm just like, okay, that's fine.
But people are setting up like traps. There's like an app online to know where all the hot spots are or something, and
right,
like people are like meeting people to like kidnap them and shit or rob them while they're waiting on Pokemon. That's insane, dude.
Yeah.
Jesus. Okay, I gotta say this. Let me, before I get into my actual opinion, let me bring out some optimism here. I'm glad that Pokemon Go is making people happy. I'm glad it's getting some people out of the house. I'm glad it's creating this new community. I'm glad it's like people who love Pokemon are loving Pokemon again. Like I'm glad for the people who are feeling fulfilled by Pokemon Go. I'm happy for them. But I'm kind of, if I'm being honest, if I'm giving my honest opinion on Pokemon Go, I'm kind of fucking disgusted by it. I'm disgusted that maybe not by the game, but the people that play it. I'm disgusted that they're glued to their phones. People who don't usually go outside are going outside for the simple excuse of catching Pokemon. Like, you needed this? You needed this phone app to get you to go outside. That's ridiculous. And on top of that, all these accidents and criminals like kidnappers and robbers, like using this to take advantage of people. Like, I want. Usually I'm the optimistic, positive guy, but every time I see Pokemon Go, I say that's a disaster waiting to happen. It's too exploitable. It's too exploitable on a physical, psychological level. Like,
I still don't care. Like, I hear about people dying from it, children finding dead bodies, people getting locked in.
Some of those
people getting
hoaxes,
locked in cemeteries.
Yeah,
some people, a little kid walking up to a court, like a funeral and having this.
They had a church that was vandalized.
I kind of just don't care. I'm just like, I don't know. This seems like a thing
I don't care, but
for me to care about, but I don't because it's a stupid human thing. And I'm like, that's fair enough. I mean, there's plenty of stupid people out there. I mean, I'm like, all right, whatever. they're gonna do what they're gonna do. You can't. Right. It's their choice. It's their choice to walk across a highway. It's their choice to whatever, take drugs or whatever they're gonna do. This falls into the world of reality and stupid actions, So I'm like, guys, it's not the game developers' fault. It's not, if anything, they're clearly showing that model works very well.
Right. Well, we've already known that's already been an insane popular thing. I mean, I knew it was going to be insanely popular. It's just, I just think it's funny, like, all the media is, like, latching onto it. Like, this bad thing happened. They're all latching on to, like, all the negative stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
And I hate to be the guy that latches onto the negative stuff, and I'm not blaming Pokemon Go. I'm just... I'm kind of... maybe not disgusted. Maybe disappointed. Maybe I'm just... Not disgusted. Maybe that's too strong a word. Maybe I'm just...
We have grown men at work that are, like... excusing themselves to go to the bathroom with their cell phone so they can find Pokemon. I mean, it's kind of weird, It's kind of like that's like my negative part of it.
That's what disappoints me.
If they're causing some kind of safety hazard in the workplace, that's kind of a pain in the ass. But I kind of don't care if they do that, but unless it is something that's affecting Like, if I was working there and it's the forklift driver himself or some asshole that's working there and he's not paying attention to the forklift driver, then yeah, I would be pissed. I'm like, you stupid bastard, put your damn phone away, write that asshole up, because that's somebody going to get hurt there, but if it was like in my office, we're web developers, it's not like a big deal. We're on the line all the time. So if people want to do that, I'm like, fine. I don't find it like immature because we're playing games. I don't find it silly because it's games. I don't find any of it. I don't even, it doesn't affect me one shape or the other.
It's a fad. It'll,
Yeah. They're just, Nintendo needed a little boost. So there you go.
Yeah, I was just making fun of it. I wasn't saying that I hate it or a bad thing. It's annoying that that's all my wife is talking about. We already put out applications
for another podcaster.
Oh
so,
shit, I fucked up. Yeah.
So
bring in Grandma Dryad. Yeah.
I just want to reiterate.
That idiot. Yeah.
I just want to reiterate. I don't think the app itself is bad, and I am happy for the positivity. I'm glad it's successful, but it's just disappointing when you hear stories, hear the bad stories, and they're really bad. Like we can't have anything nice. There's always got to be some jackass or jackasses that they just got to ruin it for everybody.
I just love making fun of it. I mean, my wife is like obsessed with it, and I think that's funny. Yeah, I mean, it's like, well, I thought you hated video games.
No, it's funny.
She's always,
we should be able to laugh at that. It is silly for an adult to chase down fake monsters with their phone. That's fucking silly as fuck, and we should be able to make fun of that because it's funny as fuck. And
he's like, you love video games. I said, yeah, but I'm not trespassing in the neighbor's yard trying to hunt fucking Meteor Goliath. You know what I mean?
Also, that's kind of... Oh, man. See, this is... Okay,
Wouldn't that be cool, though?
Get ready for my pitch to Digital Extremes. Cool. I thought about this one earlier. Speaking of toilets, while I was on the toilet, I thought of a great phone game because that's where all phone games are played.
Oh.
But anyways, there's a little humor. But I was thinking Digital Extremes could do this as a phone game for Warframe. You could be walking around at any point in the day and get attacked by the stalker on your phone. That would be fun.
That would be badass.
And you got to fight him. It's like you never know when. And
you're at the line at the grocery store, and all of a sudden you're swinging around a fucking
and then you're like you're swinging your phone around because it uses internal or something fun, and that gives you a chance to actually win something in your game, and you redeem it later on.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah, they could make it a simple little game. It would be. I bet you people would play it.
You surprised me, Jenser. I thought you were going to say make it like Pokemon Go, where you're looking for Kubros and Kavats.
No,
that'd be cool.
I don't think because they don't. That's not really part of what you can do. Is you can scan items in Warframe. So I guess technically you could scan stuff in real life as well with your phone if they use that. VR, not VR. They're using augmented reality, I believe. Yeah, they could do that. So,
got to throw you a little ball and catch them and everything.
Yeah. That's something, it's something, it could be like an alert, and then it's like, scan this, whatever it is, and then that item becomes available.
I think the stalker thing is that'd be a cool app for Warframe.
Yeah, just randomly, whatever.
Got to pitch that to them.
And also because you do actually scan stuff in the game. Yeah, they could technically do that as well. Take out your phone, scan something in real life or whatever that, isn't actually there, and people look at you like weirdos, but they wouldn't because people are playing Pokemon Go.
Yeah, and trespassing and neighbors and
And
the first time a little kid knocks on my front door wanting to know Pikachu's in my house or some shit. I mean, come on.
Yeah. The thing is, what Digital Extremes does really well with Warframe is they take ideas from other games and they apply it to their game and they work it in there. They're very good about that, so they can do it. They could do it. So anyway, Pokemon Go and it's great.
I mean, it wouldn't affect my life if my wife weren't always talking about it now.
It's funny because you say she doesn't like you playing games that much, or doesn't really.
But now she's all on it. Yeah, now she's all on a game. Yeah. He actually wanted to be on the podcast tonight to talk about it. I'm like, no.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Hey, look, if Gamertron is going to bring his dad on.
I said I told my wife, I said maybe 5 minutes. We'll give you,
There you go.
Bubblehead 5 minutes, so Anyway.
Call your wife,
Wow.
Bubblehead.
I can call my wife whatever I want, Gamertron, all right?
You can't tell him what to do. It's true. Let him dig his own grave.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
And when she
Hey,
Lorena
I'm
Bobbitt's
just
my
saying,
ass,
I warned
I'll
ya.
say, well, Gamertron, you were right. I shouldn't have said that. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
He takes a
I
flavor
shouldn't
to
have
my
said-
junk. Yeah. Duragon, sounds like your wife's a hypocrite.
We all are.
No.
That's called humanity.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nintendo. Yeah, it's kind of really quickly piggybacking on that. I don't really know much about that, but that little mini Nintendo. I'm pretty sure everybody's seen it. But yeah.
Oh
that's
yeah,
kinda cool.
the mini NES.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like 30
yeah,
games.
$60.
30
yeah,
games?
$60 too.
I know some of the basics like Castlevania, Metroid, Mario Brothers, of course.
Okay,
Donkey
but have
Kong
you
Jr.?
have you guys done your research? Because I'm confused exactly what it is. Is it a handheld or is it something you plug into your TV?
No,
you
it's
plug,
plugged.
you plug it in.
Yeah.
It's just a small
okay.
little
It's just like a
console.
little mini nostalgic. It's only $60.
Yeah,
That's
it's like
not bad.
a quarter the size of the Nintendo or something. You know.
Yeah.
It looks cute. You know.
I might
Damn.
end up getting one of those. I'll be honest with you. I'm
I
not a
hope it
big
catches
Nintendo
on.
guy.
I'd love
Yeah.
a mini Sega Genesis because that was mine. You know, I'd love that. I know they also cracked like the Sega Saturn CD, or the Sega Saturn CD, I believe is what it was. I know they cracked that finally. Like apparently something with production of like those discs itself. There was an actual like physical groove that was put into the outer layer of it, which didn't allow for anyone to be able to crack the code of it. And it's because there was no code. It was a physical thing that the disc would look for, a physical like pattern. You know, they cracked that, so now people can emulate that or plug in like a USB thing in order to like play games and whatnot with an emulator, which is kind of cool. There's all kinds of as technology moves forward, we should be able to get that older stuff for nostalgia purposes just so much quicker. It shouldn't be a chore.
I like the price point. I'll be
Yeah,
honest. That's not bad.
Does it come with one controller? I didn't look into that though.
I think the controller might be. Yeah, I think it comes with one.
Cool.
Yeah, just one.
cool.
I have no doubt that thing's gonna sell well. I have no doubt.
yeah.
For one, collection. What do you call them? Not a word.
What? Collections?
What do you call a person
Collectors?
really into collecting collectors? Yeah. What the hell? What collectionist?
Your brain
what the hell
okay?
was I don't know.
Are you playing
like,
Pokemon Go? Damn it,
No.
Gamertron.
I think he's busy. Yeah.
No. It's been a hectic week. It's been a hectic week. I'll
It's
give you that
alright.
much. So maybe I have
alright.
some
Something
brain
to
fart
talk
here.
about?
Collectors. Yeah. Ugh.
Something you want to
Anyway,
let us know?
you're okay not knowing.
Get it off your
Kevin.
chest, Gamertron. Get it
There
off
you
your
go.
chest.
Yeah, come on.
It's cool.
All right, fair enough.
NES Mini. For sure, this is going to be a thing collectors are going to buy. This is going to be a thing.
Oh, yeah.
Your average gaming historians, people love for the sake of like, because this is a little history in a little box.
does
Oh, I had
look
like
cool,
I had
too.
like a 60-year-old guy come up to me at work saying, and he knows I play video games. He goes, "Did you hear about that little mini Nintendo thing they're making?" Mm-hmm. I mean, and he doesn't even play video games. I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "I'm gonna get one of those."
Yeah.
And he doesn't even hardly play. It's a nostalgia thing. You know?
It is. It is. And it
so-
does look neat. It does.
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
so.
So.
Yeah, I have no
Good
doubt
idea.
that will sell well, and that's really cool. That's a really cool story
Yeah.
count. That right there just that put a
I knew
huge
that
smile
would
on my
I
face.
knew
that
that would
brightened
warm
my
your heart.
day.
I knew
Aw.
that would warm.
Even oh man, that's awesome. Hey, you know what else is awesome?
I do
Netflix.
know a few things, but go ahead, please.
Netflix and TV shows.
Yeah,
so,
all right.
Just yesterday, a series that Netflix has been advertising hard. Like if you guys have been on the internet this past week, they've been advertising this show hard on Twitch, on YouTube. Like you see ads for this show everywhere. Stranger Things. I keep messing up the the Stranger Things. Yeah, that's
I
what
just
it's
added
Stranger
it to my
Things.
list. Yeah.
Yep.
Stranger Things. So I watched it today.
Cool.
It's
Nice.
really fucking good. It's really good, and I wouldn't dare spoil anything for you. Like, if you guys love John Carpenter,
What's it about,
Steven
though?
Spielberg, I can't tell you that because that would be spoilers, man.
Well, I
if
know
I tell you
I
what
know
it's
the
about,
general basis because I read the description on the Netflix thing.
John Carpenter
but-
is quite a different director from Steven Spielberg.
I love John
That's
Carpenter.
interesting. That's
Yeah.
very interesting.
yeah, the reason I say that is because it finds Stranger Things. I watch it, it feels like an instant classic, and I love it because it goes against all the standard TV show norms. I love it for that. I love it for that.
Cool.
It finds a way, and I can't believe it did this. It found a way to balance horror and creepiness, and with some atmosphere in the middle, on the other side of whimsy and buddy adventures. It's such a well put together show that has so many good movies of the 80s and throwbacks to the 80s. The whole show is a big throwback to the 80s. It takes place in the 80s. It just I watch the show and I get not only am I enveloped in the atmosphere, 'cause am I on the edge of my seat from the tension? Yeah, I'm immersed, exactly. But the characters, like the child actors in this show, like you'll fall in love with them. They're so spot
think
on.
of the children. Okay.
Yes,
Fair enough.
think of the children.
You are having a hard time saying things. Do you want to give people a little bit to talk about it, and then maybe we'll talk about it later on as well? We'll bring it back up once we get a chance to see it.
Sure. Of course.
I'm trying not to give anything away.
Well, I'm going to watch that.
I really don't. You need to watch it. You need to watch it. You have Netflix. Watch Stranger Things.
I'll take your recommendation.
I'll say one more thing though. If there's the mystery, like the overall arching mystery, I'm just going to say it's going to frustrate you. Like if you're one of those people who hates having answers, like kind of like the answer, like having the carrot on the stick kind of deal, I'm going to get that carrot, and then they just away a bit. They do that a lot throughout the show. Just when you think, we're going to get an answer to this mystery, they give you like a new mystery instead. So like it's a show you kind of have to binge watch, because if you leave it at one episode, what happens next? What happens next?
I like being pulled. I like literally being pulled through a show because when they do it well. So that's good. It's cool, man.
So Stranger Things, gotta watch. You guys gotta see that show. Really good. Really
we'll
good.
talk about it next week after. Yeah, we'll watch it and
give it a go. Yeah, we'll see what's.
Maybe we'll talk about it in a minute or two.
I'd love to hear what your favorite characters are, because when me and my dad watched, we had like different favorite characters, like all the characters connected to us on different levels. So I'd be interested to hear what your favorite characters from the show would be. That would be
all
cool.
right.
Okay. Anyways. So what have you got?
Watch anything else? I thought you said you watched something else on Netflix.
Oh yes, I did. Scream. I'm still continuing watching Scream on Netflix. They're still adding episodes weekly. Yeah, the new Scream. God, that show. I keep watching it. I like the characters, but the show frustrates me so much because
I've never seen that movie or that franchise.
I've seen the movie. I'm not a big Wes Craven's fan. I'm much more like John Carpenter than Wes Craven.
I love John Carpenter.
I always thought the Nightmare on Elm Street stuff was like a little overrated and not that scary. And I just don't find Freddy Krueger scary. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's like it looks like I could beat his ass. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? I know he's got the knives, but he just doesn't seem scary to me. Yeah. I know. I don't know.
It's cool, man. I'm a fan of a lot of horror movies and horror directors.
What's your all-time favorite horror movie, guys?
Oh,
that's like a Gamertron question. Why you do this?
I love that question.
I
actually love that question, Cam.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay. All-time favorite horror.
Okay, I have two movies. One would actually have to be John Carpenter's The Thing.
That's my favorite. That's my all-time favorite.
That's probably a very well-known, like people. I've heard a lot of people
all-time favorite fucking movie, almost not just horror movie. I love that movie.
Okay, Janser, have you not seen The Thing?
I think I saw the original, and I think the John Carpenter remake.
The original was like in the late 50s with the guy from Gunsmoke played the monster. It was kind of an old 50s type horror movie looking, but
so when the remake came up, I wasn't very excited about that or anything because I had seen the original. I was like, fair enough.
Hey, which original are you talking about, Janet? Because the actual first remake, John Carpenter's The Thing, was 1982.
But there was an older black and white version.
Yeah, there was a black and white with James Arness. Arness was the monster. He was from Gunsmoke. Yeah,
I didn't know that. I just know that there was a black and white version.
Yeah,
so that's the one I know. So when the John Carpenter, it didn't have Kurt Russell in it.
Yeah, Kurt Russell.
Yeah, so I've seen
Wilford Brimley.
I've seen parts of it, but it wasn't.
Keith David was in it. Wait,
it wasn't my thing.
Keith David.
You know, so I've never watched it, but I've heard a lot of good recommendations about
it. Oh, dude, you need to see it. And if you don't mind me and Count for the next couple minutes, we're going to gush about The Thing. Oh, Count, you need to tell me.
I got to take a break anyway, so you guys do that.
Okay. No problem, man. Okay, Count. When did you see The Thing? When did you see it? Like
I saw it in the movie theater when I was 12, 13 years old.
Oh no!
Yeah.
I wish I could have experienced.
And then it was on HBO. It was on HBO like 3 years. The next running 3 years, it was on HBO when HBO was new. You know, just kind of came out, and when HBO was like cool, when like you couldn't wait for the HBO guide to come in the mail. So my buddies and I used to we'd have like sleepovers. You know, we're 13, 14 years old. You know, we play like ColecoVision and fucking watch The Thing all night long. You know, because they play it like every 5 hours on HBO. And I've seen that movie so many times, and that movie scared the crap out of me when I was like 13 or 14. In the theater, I was a sweaty mess after getting out of that theater when I was. I vividly remember walking out of the theater and my fucking shirt. You know, I'm 13 years old. My shirt is drenched because that scene where they do the hot poker. You know, they do the test with the hot. You know, they heat up the little copper wire and put it in the blood vial. Oh my god, dude! That freaked me out when I was a kid, man.
Oh, gee. The scene for me, the thing that got me was the one on the operating table with the doctor, the guy. Yeah. He needs to do CPR. Yeah. Like that, I never saw that scene coming. I didn't expect it.
Oh, yeah, that was it's like his chest opened up like a jaw, like
with
Jaws.
Teeth, like when that scene happened, like I literally jumped out of my seat. Was like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
And like, the music. When did you see it? Like, how old were you when you saw it?
Oh, geez, I think I saw it around. It was 2007, 2008.
Oh,
I remember I was on the internet. I went back in the not. I don't know how you describe that year, the first decade of the 2000s. I don't know how to I can say the 90s, the 80s. I don't know how to describe it.
I would say the 2000s.
Okay, the 2000s.
Yeah.
Well, in the later 2000s, I was really big into reading and watching. Welcome back, Jenser. I was really big into watching and reading reviews on things. I watched a video review on John Carpenter's The Thing, and it for some reason, something about that movie, it caught me, it grabbed me, just the title alone, The Thing, I think to myself, that's such a generic and boring title. How can people think this is so great? Sounds like such an awful title.
Not
for a
movie. Generic or boring movie.
No. When you see it, when you see The Thing, and when you actually understand what The Thing is, then the terror seeps in. The idea that the person right next to you isn't really the person right next to you.
And that's the whole thing is it's why I almost don't want to watch it, because I've heard so much about it that it's already been massively, spoken about.
Right.
So I don't see that it would
I'll
surprise
tell you the
me.
creepiest scene.
I don't think it would surprise me or entertain me because of that. And especially
I think it would, Janser.
Well, I'm a person that gets turned off by hype as well, Like it really starts shutting me down. And but that movie comes up so much with great horror.
It's
movies.
A classic. Dude.
Exactly. So I'm on the fence about I have to give things time when I hear too much about something, I have to give it a 6-month time period for me to not think about it. And then that way I can kind of go in there with a fresh mind and not have it affected too much by something else. But that's why I've never
Wilford
watched it.
Brimley in that movie is so good. The creepiest scene for me, anyway, when I was a kid, the scene that just put chills down my spine. It wasn't even a horror scene. It was when he's on the computer and he's asking, what happens if this thing reaches landmass with population, this virus or whatever? And the computer says. And he said, "How long until total takeover? Where it takes over the entire population of the world." And the computer gives an amount of I forget, like it was like 20,000 hours or something like that, and he gets that look on his face, like we can't let that thing get out of here, you know, because they're in the Antarctica. They're up like isolated. You feel isolated the entire movie.
Gosh, that reminds me of another movie.
Yeah. And the music is so fucking creepy.
Yes.
The music makes the movie, dude.
Oh,
I mean, the
man.
movie, yeah, it's...
And not just the music, the times where there isn't music, where it's silent, and then something happens, like the scene I talked
and
about.
And you're trying
to
figure out who the guy is. You know, you're trying to figure out who, and the guy you think isn't, and all that. I mean, I'm ruining a lot of it, but I mean,
no,
really.
I've seen, because there was even a game, and I watched gameplay of that. You know,
yeah,
that,
it was on. I had it.
It
was on the original Xbox.
Yeah,
I had it.
It's supposed to be a pretty kind of a hard game too.
It was a cool game.
Yeah,
it was not a bad game. A little buggy, but it was a cool game.
Yeah, exactly.
And to be honest, my love of the movie The Thing is what generated my love for the Dead Space video games, because the Dead Space video games were like The Thing as a video game, but in a sci-fi setting with some unique aspects. Like, I love John Carpenter's The Thing that much, and I'm so glad I discovered it, because if it wasn't for John Carpenter's The Thing, I wouldn't have discovered my love for Dead Space.
Yeah,
it's like, oh man.
Game. Yep.
Yeah. Oh,
I can't really correlate the two. To me, you're stretching there a little bit on Dead Space. Yeah, a little bit. But
you don't see the connection.
I understand. I understand what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe core concept or something.
Yeah.
But I guess in terms of like the idea that this alien entity is taking human beings and transforming them into horrible monstrosities, it's like with The Thing, and when in correlation to zombies, like it's kind of like the zombies taken to a new level, a worse level, because I find, like, you compare necromorphs to regular zombies, like they don't compare. Necromorphs are fucking not only terrifying, but a genuine powerful threat.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about The Thing is that it's something that, when you think about it, it's a simple concept. It's people that they're not really people. They're people disformed? Yeah, disformed, disfigured, so that they resemble people, but they don't resemble people.
Yeah, see, that reminds me of like the pod people thing.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
I watched that, like the old version.
In the 70s.
Again. I watched a lot of the old versions of, like, I used to watch a lot of black and white movies when I was a kid. I don't know why. But I
did too.
I had a love of like these.
They're classics,
shitty space movies as well, that were just like, they were bad, but
they're
I could
good.
See, the whole thing is, I could see how bad they were, but I still liked the core concept of them, you know. And then even later, like 70s movies that were still bad, but they were kind of good. Like this one about the black hole. It just, I don't know. I have, you know.
I saw Black Hole in the theater. I saw that.
Yeah, it just, some of that stuff. So when you talk about The Thing like that, I'm like, well, that reminds me of Invasion of the Body Snatchers, you know.
Leonard Nimoy was in that.
Not in a bad way. I'm just like, yeah, that's cool. I like that. I will watch. I think it's even on Netflix. I think I even saw it and was like, I should watch that, and then I didn't. But I really almost did. But you know, it's so this chat that we've had now is probably going to set it back at least 6 to 9 months. Yeah, so I'll give it to you. Yeah.
Well, since we're on the topic of horror movies, there's actually a brand new horror movie that's come out in theaters recently called Lights Out. Oh, yeah. Have you guys been seeing trailers for Lights Out?
I don't really care about like the new horror.
The new ones suck.
Well, yeah. Here's the thing: most new horror movies.
Yeah.
Most new horror movies suck ass because they're not scary and they rely on jump scares.
CGI and crap. Yeah.
Yeah. Not this new movie. This new movie called Lights Out, like, it's all practical effects from what I understand. Okay. And on top of that, like, I've seen the trailers for Lights Out, and I'm not going to lie, just the trailers for this movie alone have me scared of the dark again. Like, for the longest time, for years, I beat my fear of the dark, because when I was a lot younger, I had an almost uncontrollable fear of the dark. Like, I was like, but I've eventually beat it and overcome it.
Great song.
Not anymore.
Oh yeah.
Please, sorry.
But now that I've seen trailers for Lights Out, like, that fear of the dark is now creeping back in just from watching the trailers for this horror movie. It's got me worried about the dark, because the whole thing about this movie, Lights Out, is that the villain, the antagonist of the movie, like they can only get you in the dark, and you can see them in the dark, and they can see
that's
you.
Cool.
You turn.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, and they showed off a scene where this woman's flicking the lights on and off, and flicks them off.
Yep.
The antagonist is standing there. She flips it back on. She's gone, and she's flipping it on and off, testing. And every time she does that, the antagonist is moving closer because they think they're hallucinating. So they're like, "Is this real? Am I saying this?" So, and that's got me afraid of the dark now because now I'm seeing shapes in the dark again. Like,
oh no,
what was that?
I'm going to clarify a very simple concept. You're talking about fear of the dark, and in chat they're saying it's not fear of the dark, it's fear of what's in the dark. That's not even true. The real fear, and what Lovecraft did really well, is it's the fear of the unknown. When you don't know, that's why you have such anxiety over, let's say you go to a job interview and you don't know how it went, you have so much anxiety. It's that anxiety, it's that unknown factor. When I step forward, is there going to be ground under me? It's that, and that's why, and by the way, I'll tell you how you kill all fears.
Alcohol?
Bills.
Flamethrower?
Once you are laden with bills and debt,
that's
you
sobering.
are no longer
that's a
scared
sobering experience.
of supernatural anything. It doesn't, you're like, zombies, please. Can we have Zombieland tomorrow?
Sometimes I welcome death.
Can we have post-apocalypse tomorrow? Yeah. Because do you see what I gotta pay? Can we bring this shit on? I'm ready.
Yeah, I have to go in every night and lay down with a wife who's watching, Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I mean, I pray for death. I pray for death. There are many nights that I wish I would just die in my sleep. So yeah.
That actually, no, you're wrong, Jakey. I got to clarify. A fear, it's not a fear of what's in the dark means. That's not at all. Because when you know there is a thing, but it's the unknown in total. That's the whole thing. You can't know it. Zeragon's probably more along the lines of understanding it because it goes back to what the thing is.
Once you know it's in the dark, you can either run or whatever, but you
have a concept in your mind.
The unknowing, right?
Yeah, exactly. You're right on that count. Yep. When you have a concept, you have a choice. You have actions that you can make. When you don't know, you're fucked. That's all that's to it.
But I think that's kind of what Jakey means. It's kind of hard to write that out. You know what I mean?
I'm trying to prime their minds with what they need to move forward in order to annoy other people. So
next on the horror movie podcast, Gamertron steps into the light. No.
I can't help it. Like I love horror movies.
I love old horror movies.
Yeah, because that's when they were good.
I'm 47. I'll be 47 years old in September. I have a sister that's 7 years older than me, and when she was a teenager, she used to go to the drive-in with her boyfriends a lot. And I used to, sneak a peek. But she used to go see horror movies all the time, and I would always cry and throw a fit, and she'd have to take me with her. I'd spoil her date, but I got to see a lot of horror movies, like 70s horror movies, in the drive-in or the theater when I was a kid. So, yeah. And I was scared shitless, but, by the time I'm 15, I didn't care anymore. To me, I was like critical of the horror movies. I was actually, instead of being scared by them, I saw what they were, like art. Yeah. So I wasn't even... I would go see a horror movie and I would criticize it or I would critique it instead of being scared by it, you know. Yeah. But I went to a couple horror conventions. I met the guy that did the practical effects for John Carpenter's The Thing.
Oh, no way!
Yeah. Rob Boat. This has been a long time ago. Rob Boatin, I think his name is. Yeah. I meant when I say I meet him, he signed my thing, and I was like, "Hi, how you doing? I love the thing." And he's like, "Okay, next." Yeah. I didn't get to talk.
Thank you for putting it that way.
When I say I met him, I mean,
great. Here's a signed thing.
Yeah, we didn't go out to lunch or anything. So,
he's like, "Oh, you don't have any boobs for me to sign?" Oh,
but he's a legend. That movie made him a legend in the special effects.
I just want to confirm, Count. His name is Rob Boatin. It's Bottin.
T-I-N. Right. I knew it was. I couldn't remember if it's Bob or Rob. I can't. Yeah. Boatin, I think, is the way to pronounce it. Yeah.
Fair.
Something like that. But
this is
man.
This has reminded me of a movie. It's not a horror movie per se. It's more of a thriller, and it's a movie called I think because it made me probably the most anxious outside of a horror movie, but I can't think of any horror movies that really scared me. This one did. This one really had me on edge. It was called The China Syndrome, and it had gosh, I can't remember who this guy. The acting, the impending doom, the sense of doom just there, heavily weighing down everything is hard. It physically pushes you down because you know what potentially could happen and what might happen in the face of ignorance and stupidity. And it's the China Syndrome has to do with like a nuclear power plant that's
I saw that in the movie theater, Janser.
yeah, it's got I think it had like a crack and it was going into meltdown.
Yeah.
And basically could be a massive fucking destruction, like a massive problem.
Okay, I just want to confirm the China Syndrome. It starred Jane Fonda and Michael Douglas.
Yeah, Jack.
Well,
I think
would say
Lemmon
Jack Lemmon is definitely
Yeah.
the star of it, and Jane Fonda. Michael Douglas is in it, but definitely
He
Jack
wasn't
Lemmon,
well known. He was in Streets of San Francisco at the time.
Jack Lemmon, he just
yeah.
delivers an ultimate performance there.
Yeah.
He is a man out of his mind at the level of incompetence and insanity that's going on in front of his face. It's insane, the things that are going on. And
the nuclear power plant's going.
Yeah, and he knows what's happening, and nobody will listen to him. And when you see him just basically flip his lid and take things under control for himself, it's so intense. It is so fucking intense.
Well, paranoia was running rampant with that nuclear power. The nuclear power
during
plants
that
at the time was 3 Mile Island and all that stuff. So
that's correct.
I remember seeing that in the theater, and I remember liking
a real
it.
thing that actually happened that we probably forgotten.
Yeah. And Chernobyl and all that stuff.
Oh
but,
yeah.
But yeah, I saw that. I didn't really. I was like 9 years old, I think, when I saw it, so I didn't really understand much of it. I remember liking it, you know.
Mm-hmm. No, I
now I
can't
want to see
remember
this
when
movie.
I saw
You've
it.
convinced me to see this movie. Me and my dad like to watch the
Your
old
dad
movies.
probably has already
your
seen
dad
it.
has seen it. I'm
I'll ask
sure.
him about the China Syndrome. I will ask him about it. And maybe
It's kind of an
maybe we have it on
underrated
DVD. Who
movie.
knows?
Oh,
It's
massively.
really underrated movie.
When I saw it on TV, I remember the first time I saw it, I probably really was a teenager, and it was replaying, because you know how they replay it on TV like it's a piece of shit. And it's kind of a slow build as well.
Yeah.
And but it doesn't stop. It's like a tidal wave that you can see coming from like miles away. And that's how the fear, it's like, okay, it's a tidal wave, but your car's not starting, so you have to get out of the city on foot, and you're not going to make it. You're not. And you're trying to tell people, we need to get out of here, but everyone's like, it's fine. It's fine, whatever. And you're just freaking out until you like start pulling, all kinds of crazy stunts to get the correct attention that's needed. And yeah, it really affected me in a kind of like a horror way. I think because it once again had to do with maybe loss of control is another big thing. Loss of control and the lack of ability to understand what's going on or what's there. So those are those things that make people scared. So
Oh yeah, for sure.
But
Dickie said the best horror movie of 2016 is Ghostbusters.
Speaking of that movie,
Feminism is kind of horror, I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah. Speaking of which,
please.
that movie came out, and of course, it's a critical flop. It's an absolute
I didn't even know it came
flop.
out. That's how bad it
it's
flopped.
out.
Wow.
out
But here's
Friday.
the thing though. Since this movie was pushed hard by feminists, and they kept saying if you don't like the movie, you're sexist. Guess what? That excuse is now bullshit. Like, people have been calling out on this bullshit. No, this has nothing to do with being sexist. The movie is just really fucking bad.
Yeah, it's bad.
And like,
There was like one or two YouTubers that kind of crumbled. They were like kind of scared to be overly critical. Like that Chris Zuckerman or whatever, the guy that's got the big movie review channel.
oh, I watch him. Yeah, Chris.
Yeah, he was he goes, oh, it's not that bad. You know what I mean? You could tell he was kind of biting his lip when he was saying all that shit, but because he didn't want a lot of hate, but yeah, it's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad.
I don't know. I haven't. Yeah.
Of course, all the feminist movie critics on Rotten Tomatoes, if you go to the critic part, they were loving it. Oh yeah, it's great. And I'm like, whatever.
I'm
man.
still trying
Really?
to remember the name of another movie that had to do with some kind of like alien life force that couldn't be seen. It couldn't be detected. They knew that it was there, but they had to. Maybe it wasn't even alien. Maybe it was a virus or something like that. But they had no way to counter it, and eventually, I can't say.
Is this new or old?
No, it's an older movie. Once again, it's kind of like in the same time period of the China Syndrome.
It still sounds familiar. It sounds
because
like I've heard
it was probably
this.
by a well-known author. I'll come back with it later on.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. I'll maybe another podcast or never. But
Remember Scanners? Have you ever seen Scanners?
no, I never saw it.
You never saw Scanners? You got to check that out. It's kind of cheesy, but yeah, it's kind of...
the look of it freaked me out. And by the way, anytime I think of John Carpenter, I would always think of Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah. I think of Halloween. I think the original Halloween. I think Escape from New York and The Thing. Those are the three movies I think of.
I believe, Rakshaw, that you are amazing because you figured it out. It's Andromeda Strain.
Andromeda Strain.
Yeah, Michael Crichton. I knew it was a well-known author. That
Crichton.
That is due for a remake. That is absolutely due for a remake. They should reach back and get that one because it's one of those. Once again, it's one of those things that you cannot touch it, you cannot see it, you cannot hear it, feel it, but you will die. So it is, it's like one of those things out of your control, and you have to somehow figure out how to save not just yourself but humanity. It's just
damn.
It's heavy. It's heavy.
You're gonna love John Carpenter's The Thing, Janzer.
I'm sure.
Love that movie.
Yeah. So and it's one of those things that like that movie and that these things when I watched them, they had already been out for who knows how long. It just, I don't know. I was a weird kid. I always watched old movies, I always watched old stuff. It's like I have a love for like film noir as well, and detectives like Gumshoes and that kind of stuff. So,
right.
But yeah. Anyways, yes.
I'm very picky when it comes to movie. I'm very nitpicky when it comes to. There are so few movies that appeal to my taste, which is why I mostly go to video games. Because with video games, like they appeal to a lot of my. I love fantasy. I love sci-fi. I love going to new worlds and stuff like that, which is why video games appeal to me. With a lot of
No Man's Sky.
Yeah, No Man's Sky. I guess
you're not gonna play that. Get the fuck out of here.
I'm not talking
you're
about
not
it.
gonna play that.
I need to see what the hype's about. I need to see what the hype's about with this game because people have been praising this game before it even came out, and there's so much mystery around that game.
I thought you were about to start beatboxing on that.
Maybe it will. New career, you never know.
Boy.
To move it back into games, that's a good. What have you guys been playing this week?
Well, you started on that. That was a perfect transition. I'm going to teach you transitions.
That's very nice.
If it kills me, you were transitioning perfectly to. Like,
I still had a couple
fantasy
topics.
and Go ahead. Yeah. Whatever.
I had a couple topics before we got off on the horror movies, which I don't mind talking about horror movies.
No, that was a great little discussion.
Me neither, man. Me neither.
Great little discussion.
Telltale Games' new Batman series.
Yes.
Coming in September. Looking forward to that. And they have they're also going to be doing a Marvel. Telltale was going to be doing a Marvel series. They haven't announced it yet.
Oh, please be Spider-Man. Please be Spider-Man. Please be Spider-Man. Oh, man.
I wouldn't mind Spider-Man. That would be pretty cool.
I would love... Oh, man.
As far as I know, it's not announced yet, but they just said it is going to be a Marvel character. I'd like to see Deadpool. But
Yo, you know what? Oh, you got me there. Yeah, you know what? Telltale, Deadpool. Get Nolan North to voice Deadpool, of course. Like you got a recipe for
the Punisher. The Punisher would be a cool Telltale episodic game series.
Yeah, Punisher. He's
Wait, wouldn't the Punisher be more of like a first-person or third-person shooter type game? And
not
story
necessarily.
Game?
I mean,
no, it's got a decent story behind it. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's a lot of it's got a lot of shooting though. It's like
but the Batman,
I don't think you know the Punisher that well.
The Batman one, I don't know. I might check that out. I'll definitely
Punisher's got some story behind it, and I think they should definitely because they should bankroll off of the hype of what happened with the Daredevil series and the Punisher there. So
a Daredevil Telltale series would be cool. Yeah. That would be cool. Luke Cage Iron Fist would be cool. I mean, I could go on and on about that. But one thing I wanted to add about the Star Wars Battlefront thing. But skirmish mode is only Walker, Assault, and Fire Squadron, I believe.
That's fine. Those are the only two modes people play.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Walker, Assault. I love Walker Assault, dude.
Yeah,
I absolutely love. That was always my favorite.
Yeah, if I'm playing multiplayer in Battlefront, I'm playing Walker Assault. So now that I can finally play it offline, and I don't need to be worried about getting sniped halfway across the map or having Luke Skywalker
as an Ewok.
No, but you can
shoot Ewoks. You
can't even shoot Ewok. Yeah, you can shoot them. Yeah, but they don't
Ewoks lives matter. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, that's true. God,
come on, man.
Triggered
here.
But also the big news, and I'm sure Grammaton and Grindhead Jim are probably already on this. Destiny's live stream reveal is is July 20th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
What are they revealing?
It's called they're going to be showing a lot of the new area, like the Plague Lands, and it's called the Cosmodrome Winter Event. And they're going to have a big lot.
Cosmodrome?
Yeah,
what is this, Mad Max?
No, Cosmodrome is an area, patrol area on Earth of old Russia.
Cosmodrome?
You know, Tina Turner. Do you want me to start singing?
I want Space Tina Turner.
I need a hero, or what is that? I can't sing.
She didn't sing that. That's like with John Candy, where he's like a detective and he's like
on
some kind of.
I need a hero.
Yeah, they were singing that during that when. Do you know what?
No, that's not another. What's the song Tina Turner does?
I don't know.
About the hero.
Private Dancer?
I don't know to answer. She fucked me up.
Doesn't she sing Private Dancer?
Dancer. Yeah, and she got smacked by Ike Turner too. Let's move on. But anyway, the Destiny live. God, I shouldn't have said that.
This just in: Tina Turner going to be on the new Destiny live stream.
I'm so lost right now. Who is Tina
Beyond
Turner?
Cosmodrome.
Gamertron doesn't know who Tina Turner. Don't worry about it, Gamertron. Janser's fucking with
well-known
singers.
He's fucking with. She's a well-known singer.
Very well-known singer. Yeah.
Googling.
He got bitch slapped.
Not in the fun way.
But But anyway, that's the Destiny live. You can tell when Janser doesn't give a shit about a topic.
I make it entertaining.
Because he'll try to fucking derail it.
I'm not derailing it. I'm making it entertaining.
Wait till your next Warframe, buddy.
Fun for
Wait
me.
till your next Warframe shit. Wait.
Probably like in a couple of weeks.
I'm just fucking with
I got nothing to say about that.
Anyway, about the live, what are they showing on the... I know that this is for Rise of Iron. They're showing off the Plague Lands. How long is the live stream going to be? Do you know?
I don't know. You'd have to talk to Bungie about that. I mean, fuck, really? Do I look like the... No, I'm just kidding.
So, Count, now that you've joined the team of Destiny the game, would you tell us how long
I'm sorry I brought it up, you non-Destiny console butthurt guys. Anyway, all right. That's all for me. I'm done. Go ahead.
Oh,
I'm
that was beautiful.
I'm going to go hunt Pokemon.
Oh.
Okay? Fuck. Screw you dudes, man.
Oh.
No, what do you mean? I like
when are we going to have... When are we going to
Destiny.
have the B3 GamingCast Go version for your phone?
Oh,
where they can hunt down salt shakers.
I would say something right now, but no.
They can hunt down salt shakers, bottles of whiskey, and what's Gamertron's thing? What's
girls?
That's we get in trouble for that.
Little Doom Marine toys.
Okay,
like
Doom Marine toys, but that's already in a game. That's copyright infringement, man.
But when you're out there, you have to have your shirt unbuttoned. How's that?
Oh, okay. They're gonna hunt down. They'll hunt down pictures of him shirtless. There we go. That's it. That's it. Covered in maple syrup, slathered.
That's disgusting, man. That goes on your food.
I thought that's Canadians did.
No, we don't.
It's not a Canadian bath when you slather on syrup.
The maple leaf.
Man.
Fair enough.
Maple syrup, maple leaf.
I don't know anything about that.
Maple syrup is for your pancakes and any other paper.
No shit. But I didn't know syrup was for pancakes,
And
Gamertron. Really? Did we lose somebody?
You lost me.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was like awkward silence from Gamertron. Like, what do you...
Well done.
How do I respond to that? Like,
you don't. You perfectly respond.
You just roll with it, buddy.
You just perfectly just.
Hey, Gamertron.
And moving on.
Yeah.
Do you like Alpha Flight?
Alpha Flight. That sounds familiar. What
Come
is
on,
that?
how do you not know you're Canadian?
The fucking Canadian version of the X-Men.
Your heroes. They are your heroes.
I've never heard of Alpha Flight.
You've got to be kidding me. Oh, okay. I was just wondering. All right.
Alpha Flight. I'm googling it. And
Alpha Flight.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
We need next podcast.
But
we
it's
need
a
full breakdown of your
Alpha
country's
Flight.
heroes.
Oh, it's a comic book thing. Alpha
yes.
Flight is a team
Marvel
of Canadian
Comics.
superheroes?
They're the Canadian X-Men, basically.
The Canucksmen.
I don't.
The Canucksmen.
I don't read comic books, so I don't read Canadian comic books.
But that's a national treasure.
Oh, they're
It
not. Not a
Since
Canadian
when?
content. Never mind. I just wonder. On the next episode of Canadian things that Gamertron doesn't know about.
On the next
Anyway,
episode, finding out that Tron is not actually Canadian.
He's been lying to us.
Tune in.
Guy probably lives in fucking Virginia or some shit. You never know. But anyway,
he doesn't have the accent for it. I'm sorry.
That's true.
What's a Virginia accent? How can I
more? I think it's got a little bit of West Coast stuff in it. Just a little.
Yeah,
more,
a little Southern.
I mean East Coast. Sorry,
yeah.
I'm sorry. I said West.
A little mix of that.
Yeah, a little bit. They can dip into some of the South. Yeah. So.
But anyway, the Destiny live stream 1 p.m. July 20th. Yeah. Anyway, be there. I can't wait.
It's gonna be Cosmodrome stuff.
I'm gonna be working. No. I'm gonna be working, so I have to catch the video on demand.
You're gonna be catching Pokemon Go's. We already get that. All right.
Double awkward silence.
You said you were quitting. You said you were quitting your job.
Dancer. God damn it. No, I am not quitting my job. I can hunt Pokemons at work.
You told us we have to look for a new podcaster.
No, I think you really want to get rid of me now. I think I'm getting that vibe.
No, I just want to push it as far as possible.
See, this is why I need webcams, because I wanted to see your reaction when I said I was quitting the podcast. Then if your eyes lit up like
you're right. No, you're absolutely
like, yes.
right, Count. You're absolutely right.
Finally, we can get somebody in here who's not full of shit.
People do not know when I'm joking some of the time, especially when I say something that sounds mean.
Yeah, but your facial
in reality, I'm laughing.
Your facial expressions can't lie, buddy.
Oh,
and
but see, I'm in the world of business, sir. I can lie.
I would have known that you were really excited about getting rid of my ass.
I'm not a
anyway.
crook. I am totally a crook.
Yeah.
I did not have relations with that woman.
That's not what you said.
That's a terrible.
That's not
Clinton.
what you said.
That's a terrible Clinton.
I can't do scumbags. Sorry, it's very difficult.
Anyway. That's my hero.
Oh.
Anyway, go ahead.
The Clinton dynasty, the destiny that is the Clintons. Yeah.
The rise of Hillary.
Speaking of like weird and gross and like
boy,
evil, have you heard of a game called Scorn?
Yes, I saw
not.
the trailer for that. It was very disturbing.
I think we know a certain person in our chat right now that would really like it. The visuals. Look up, and this is going to go to a Mr. Zeragon. Look up a game called Scorn. I think you might enjoy the visuals. I could be totally wrong, but I think that you've kind of, shown some interest in this kind of stuff. Very H.R. Geiger-ish. So if anyone or Giger.
What I want to know is what kind of game it looks like. It's going to be in the first person.
Yeah.
It said it's going to be a first person shooter, but with very limited ammo. So to me, it kind of reminds me of more like a survival horror type.
Well,
game.
there's certainly horror. Like I see that game. It's just
it gives me.
They don't have a lot about it. On
No,
the
they
website,
don't. No, because it's a
Oh
Kickstarter
my
type game.
god, man!
But the visuals are very interesting. Very interesting.
They're kind of alien looking a little bit.
Well,
like those
that's the
structures
Giger.
look like from Alien.
That's the Giger thing.
That is badass, dude.
Yeah. So I believe it's just for anyone. Sorry about you people in the listening portion of the podcast, but
sorry, iTunes. Look up Scorn. People on iTunes
game.
can look up Scorn. Yeah.
Scorn-game.com. Check that out. Don't
Badass.
like it? Cool. Like it? Cool.
I'm
Either way,
looking forward to
something
Scorn.
else of interest.
I'm honestly genuinely looking forward to Scorn because I love that art style, as disturbing as it is. I love it. It's an expression of creativity, and that I love. I love expressions of creativity, and that is imagination gone wild. And
I wonder what engine they're using for.
I think it's CryEngine. I think they said they were using the CryEngine.
CryEngine. Well, that's what Riders of Icarus is using.
No shit.
Nice.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh. Interesting.
Nice. Huh.
But I just need to see more gameplay of Scorn.
Exactly.
I need to see what the combat's like.
Never get on that hype wagon until you see actual gameplay. Absolutely. Yeah.
This actually brings up something interesting, like a comment I got a while ago. Like someone said, "Gamertron, were you right? You were right. How did you know Doom would be so good? Like, how did you know Doom was so many people were hating on that game and expected it to feel? How did you know Doom would be so good?" I told them because they showed gameplay. It's as simple as that. Like a lot of people, like other people, get hyped for games such as No Man's Sky, where they did show gameplay. Yeah, without seeing something, and people get hyped without seeing something like Last Guardian with like No Man's Sky, and I was excited for Doom because I saw the gameplay. I saw the glory kills, I saw the enemies, I saw the weapons. I was like, that looks like a game I will enjoy. Played it, it's the most fun I've ever had in a video game ever. So that goes to show you, gameplay is the selling point for a game, or at least I think should be the selling point of a game. The culture seems to prove me wrong. No, let's just have bombastic trailers and a lot of people saying a bunch of stuff about it that isn't true. That makes a game exciting. For me, it was the gameplay. You need to see gameplay. It's why I'm excited for the upcoming Deus Ex Mankind Divided. One, because I liked the first game, Human Revolution, and because they've shown gameplay. I was excited. Same thing with Evolve. That's why I was excited for Evolve. They showed gameplay. They showed genuine gameplay. Like, that looks fun. Like, if you show gameplay, I will be excited for your game. You show a CG trailer, I'll show mild interest.
Man, I can imagine what your dates are like.
But wait, whoa. You gotta explain that one to me.
Here we
now.
go.
How does that
It wasn't
translate?
me this week. It wasn't me this week. You direct
How does that
hate
translate to my
fans
love
or not
I
me.
said
now.
nothing counts. I just
True.
said I imagine what your dates are like. I can imagine what they're. Okay? Fair enough.
All right.
But on, anything else that you had about that? Because there's another game that's kind of tied into it a little bit. Not really.
Ooh, well, I want to hear. Please do share.
We were talking a little bit about that new Limbo game, Inside, I think is what it's called.
Oh, yes, Inside, yes.
I just wanted to bring up, in case people hadn't heard, because I know Limbo, it was a very nice little marketing maneuver they did there, where they gave Limbo away for free to get that interest back up again. Very fucking smart, because that interest is generated by that developer, and it's away for free. And unless I'm wrong, but it's the same developer, isn't it? It has to be.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say that would be the only downfall in my theory there, because I didn't look it up. I heard a lot of people saying that Inside blows away Limbo in a great way. This is
I'm going to be getting Inside. Cool. I'm going to be getting it. I'm just waiting for the paycheck. And that's going to be the first things I get. Everything I hear about Inside is do not watch reviews, do not read reviews, do not do anything.
Correct.
You need to experience this. Do not spoil yourself.
Yes.
That's the one thing. For those of you that liked Limbo and are interested to see what this developer has done next, don't spoil yourself. Yeah. Don't spoil yourself.
But that marketing maneuver, that's some classy shit right there, That is absolutely one of the best ways to handle the sales of a new game.
Yeah.
Hey, play the old one. Now that we've gotten you just a little hard, let's get the next one. Here you go. Here's the next one. Here's now you go. Now you get Inside. Yeah. So,
have either of you played Limbo, by the way?
No. I've actually watched an entire playthrough of it before, and it looks very interesting. I would like that kind of game. I never got around to it. Just never had the full amount of time to play something like that. Looks fun.
Count?
Oh,
is Count still here?
He might be dead. Yeah.
Oh, damn it.
He did. Yeah.
No, I'm back. I'm sorry. No, I haven't. Are you asking me if I played Limbo?
Yes.
No, I have not.
Okay, false alarm. He's not dead. All right.
Yeah, I'm not dead. I'm sorry.
We were afraid. Like,
did you get that Pokemon?
I was listening.
Did you get that Pokemon after all?
Yeah, it was.
That's good to know. No.
As someone who has played Limbo, I can assure you that these are very smart developers, because they know how to take what they have and expand upon it. Like Limbo, It has a very simple visual style, just the black and white visual style. It has very few mechanics, basically walking, jumping, pushing, and pulling. It's a very simple game.
Yeah.
But they take that simplicity, they take the simplicity of the visuals, and they take the simplicity of the gameplay, and they go, okay, we have this simple arts, we have the simple visual style and the simple gameplay. How far can we take this? How far can we take what we have and do interesting and unique things with it? They throw in new elements that... The thing with Limbo is they don't have one mechanic and then that mechanic goes out through the entirety of the game. As you proceed through the game, a new mechanic presents itself. You use it for a few minutes, then it's gone. Then they present something new. New puzzles that require you utilizing the environment or interacting with some sort of NPC. Or trap, or lever, or thing you have to push and pull. Limbo is a very clever game. It plays on your emotions through the visuals, but it challenges your mind through the gameplay mechanics. I'm not a smart guy. I can tell you guys this. I'm incompetent. I'm incompetent in a lot of things. I'm an incompetent human being. But when I played Limbo, it made me feel smart. When I completed a puzzle and discovered it by myself, I felt fulfilled and I felt accomplished. I have no doubt that's what's going to happen with Inside, but from what I understand, now I haven't spoiled myself on the story, all I know is...
I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, the only thing I know is that the story is supposedly a lot better than Limbo's, where Limbo's was kind of like not really there, you had to make a lot of assumptions. With Inside, the way it presents its story through the visuals, from what I understand, it's very powerful, from what I understand. Like, I can't wait to play Inside, honestly. I'm very looking forward to playing Inside. I'm looking forward to playing that and making a video on that. Oh, man. I just hear nothing. I'm excited, not gonna lie. I'm a bit hyped for Inside. That looks like an adventure. Dark adventure, but an adventure.
This just in, Gamertron wants to play inside, not outside. The only thing that I played that was similar to Limbo would have been Deadlight. It kind of had that same aesthetic, not exactly, but it was a side scroller as well. And Deadlight was fun as hell. It's probably really cheap too. Nice short game.
Oh, yeah.
I remember beating it on stream. I very rarely ever beat games, very, very rarely, and had a lot of puzzles in it as well. Not as brutal, but pretty brutal in a way. But, yeah, I heard Limbo was just much more... You were going to die. There was no question about it.
Oh, yeah, it's like Dark Souls.
Yeah. You have to die in order to find out what you need to do. It's just...
Like Dark Souls.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. There's some situations in Dark Souls that I didn't need to die, and I didn't, but I guess maybe other people might have, just because they don't understand video games. I don't think Dark Souls is as hard as people think it is. It's more of the timing of things and less of the... I didn't realize that thing was there. Very rarely does that happen in Dark Souls, except for like a treasure chest. Blech.
Oh, yeah, the mimics. Ugh.
Yeah, or maybe like a certain, did I go down this path? But it wasn't like, Dark Souls is not full of like, you walk down this path, you die because you didn't realize that it's just not exactly as bad as a Limbo. Limbo banks on that. That's what it is. There's no, because Dark Souls has a combat mechanic in it that, there's a lot of things you can do with the combat and the weaponry and all that, the armor. Whereas this is really just mechanics of jumping and moving and, pushing, pulling and all that, and how to manipulate the environment. So it's more of a puzzle game for damn sure. Dark Souls is not really a puzzle game. So, not that, there's no correlations, but they're not as deep. So.
Oh yeah, I hear you, man. When it comes to difficulty and dying in video games, every game handles it differently. Like some games that they do go out of your way to make sure you don't die, so you keep. There are other games there they want you to die because they want you to learn or get better or give some sort of indication of challenge or difficulty. I'm not how Limbo does it. It's like. The way you described how you die in Limbo is very true. You don't die in Limbo for the sake of difficulty. Oh, it's a difficult game. No, you're going to die, and you need to die in order to learn. Okay, that's dangerous.
How do I get
that's
here?
wrong.
What do I need to do
exactly.
here? Exactly. It's going to happen. So, well.
Inside. So yeah, just message everyone. Don't spoil yourself with Inside. You got to play that game. Gotta play. I think that's a game everybody's going to probably play this year. Yeah. Like people universally praised Limbo, so I have no doubt people are going to play Inside, and I can't wait to play inside.
It's nice to
I'm
see
excited.
that that the next game is just that much more. That's kind of more of what I was looking at as well. Is it's nice to see that a good success was toppled by a better version. So that's cool. So,
Very cool. Very goddamn cool.
I'm out of gaming topics. I have other things that we could talk about, but as far as games are concerned, and if y'all are, you got something, I'm going to defer to y'all. I could talk. I have another topic for sure to bring up, but it's not gaming exactly. It's more gaming peripherals.
Yeah, I have a statement. Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Oh no, you've already given one horrible statement today. You're quitting the podcast. What the fuck, man? Now what?
Okay, I'll ruin it for you. Have you seen Titanfall 2's theme controller for Xbox One?
No.
Oh, what?
Yeah. Oh yeah, they have a Titanfall 2 themed controller coming out. Now,
is it
this is my
sticks?
question. Yeah, it looks no. It's a normal Xbox controller. It just looks like a mech. It's painted like it looks like a mech, like a Titan. But why can't we get PS4? Why can't we get third-party peripherals for the PS4?
Is that not possible?
I don't know what's going on. Why can't Xbox get all this cool shit? And I want one of these for the PS4.
Huh.
But
so
can't
that's
get
the thing. It's exclusive. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I'm assuming. So
aren't there
I don't know.
Custom vendors that do that stuff?
Maybe, I don't know. But this is I forget the company that does this, PDP or something. I forget.
Okay.
But,
yeah, there you go.
It's really cool looking, and I wouldn't mind having it for PS4, but it's not available, I guess. So I could be wrong about that, but I don't think I am. So
for a minute, I was hoping that it was something like a kind of like a. Well, there was this one game where they created like a big old controller setup. That was like
Hawken.
No, not Hawken.
No.
Hawken.
Yeah, it was older than that.
It's a mech game. It was a mech game though.
God. Yeah, Hawken did that though.
Oh, they did it as well.
Yeah, they did it. Yeah.
No, this one was a clunkier game. It was like they really took the VTOL kind
Steel
of thing.
Battalion.
Steel Battalion.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, not a great game, but interesting, and it was first of its. They tried really hard, but I think now if they did one for I don't know, because you're a pilot and you're also a mech in Titanfall. Yeah, I don't know. It would be interesting. I don't know. I just kind of I like that idea. I just like that idea. And
here's an idea. How about a controller peripheral? Like when you get in your Titan, you place your controller on this peripheral, and all of a sudden you have like joysticks on the side or something.
They could do something,
Be kind of cool.
I used to play like flight simulators, so I had like a flight stick and stuff like that. It was whatever the best Microsoft flying stick was at that time. So it just I like that stuff, but Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with peripherals. Like I don't deal with peripherals since I'm PC gaming, but I love when the console users get fun little toys to play with. That's always a nice bonus to go.
Well, I just want something
console.
for my PS4. I just want a new kind of PS4
feel
controller.
left out.
I don't like the PS4 controller.
Yeah.
I don't like the one that. Yeah.
Well, just wait till materials are able to display designs on them, like a skin or something like that, but it actually just displayed from like an internal chip or something like that. Wait till that happens. So that'd be
kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll happen at some point. And since we're talking about peripherals, I wanna give a shout out to Corsair, who I spent close to $200 on a keyboard and mouse, mechanical blue key keyboard for gaming. They're telling it's great, whatever, and a mouse, wonderful mouse that within I bought them and received them at the end of February this year.
Right.
January, March, April, May. By May, my keyboard was already giving me problems. The space bar just adds extra spaces. Every once in a while randomly because there's something wrong with how it like triggers the actual click event or something like that. And my mouse just a week or two ago started giving me problems when scroll up it will jump down, and both of these problems are things that you can look up online as being issues. So I RMA'd them And that basically what happens there is you have to send your keyboard or your device out to them. That takes time, and wait for them to decide whatever they're going to decide, right?
Annoying.
They're going to send you back, so you're without your things for that time. The other thing is you can express that stuff to you, which is convenient because that means that they can send you the goods. When you receive it, you're not out that component, and you send yours back, right? Downside to that is it's the cost of whatever. I think it's like $100. It's kind of like a deposit. They're not going to keep it unless you don't send your shit back, So that's slightly annoying, It's not too much of a big issue. But
oh boy.
So I did that for my keyboard. The problem is their support is only open Monday through Friday, and they quit like at 4:00 or some shit, like some shitty fucking
4
hours.
o'clock?
Oh yeah.
What?
You can look up their support. It's shittiest hours.
How do you get anything done quitting at that time?
That's the whole point. You don't. So like my mouse got approved RMA on Friday when they were closing. So I couldn't call in order to do that express shipping. So I got to wait till Monday to do that, of course. Which it still takes a couple of days for them to even execute on that, by the way, even though it's express. It still fucking takes them a couple of days to do that. It's not like, okay, we're taking your money because they're literally taking your money. You can't use it at that moment. And then they decide whenever they were just like, oh, this will happen in 24 to 48 hours, whatever the hell. So a couple of days later, they're like, all right, we sent it out, and it's going to arrive in it's basically going to show up like on Tuesday of next week, supposedly. It's still taking an entire fucking week. Express.
Right.
Yeah.
It's annoying.
Yeah. It's really ridiculous. And why it's really ridiculous is not because of that system. Like, I didn't even complain to the girl that I was talking to. She was like, oh, you want your mouse on? We can't actually put them together, even though I was like, no, I'm not worried about putting my mouse, which now has a problem, with my keyboard, although that would be convenient. I will handle that. I understand systems and how they function, and people are doing a job, blah, blah, blah. That's not my problem. My problem, and I wasn't even bitching at her. Later on, I was thinking to myself, and I kind of tweeted at Corsair, I was like, the problem is you have 50 million items. You can't use Amazon Zergon when it's an RMA. Of course, you didn't hear what I was talking about, because that's fine. Anyways, it's a company warranty. It's not, Amazon doesn't create it, and I didn't buy it for them. So that's, anyways, I don't have to explain these things. What are we not? Anyways, but so the problem is they create, if you go look at Corsair's website and look at their components, look at how many variations of the same keyboard they have. It is ridiculous. They have 6 to 10 of any one type. And same thing with the mice. Another version. I'm like, if you guys stop trying to create different variations in order to cover the market,
one right.
In order to cover the market, and actually focused on quality, you'd probably have a lot less RMAs, which is costing you, I'm sure. I own a Corsair power supply. Great. Corsair memory, not a problem. Actually, I don't own Corsair memory anymore. I changed out to, I think it's OG something or other. They've been in the market for a while as well. But I do own a Corsair hard drive, and that kind of worries me because I just bought it and I haven't used it yet. So all of by the way, my Logitech wireless keyboard and mouse combo is like an MK550 or something. I've had that for 6 years. Perfectly fine. The only reason I got these mechanical ones is because I wanted to, when you're playing FPSs, cut down on the lag that you might have between device and, it's a wireless. You're going to have a little bit of lag there. And I would have that every once in a while where I wouldn't get that perfect connection, if I click something or if I hit, I was typing something and be a little bit of lag, and I was like, that's fine for casual. But once I started playing Titanfall even more, I was like, I need to step up my game. This shit, once I started playing PvP in Titanfall, that actually what was made me want to get these, gaming devices. And then within 6 months, both of them shit the fucking bed. And I'm like, what the fuck, Corsair?
Yeah.
How can I back you guys? I was
excited.
The
new gaming computer I've configured online that I'm getting soon. I've got Corsair Dominator memory and Corsair water cooler, and Corsair power supply. Now I'm a little worried.
Well, the components, like their internal components, their memory, they've been around. They've been doing the memory game
they've been doing it for a long time.
They've been doing the power supply game forever. They got that on lockdown, right?
Keyboards and mice.
Apparently, they're going to have some problems with these other devices, which are, you know, and I'm not sure. You know, I even tweeted back. They said something back to me like, "Oh, sorry, you're having problems, dude." And I was like, all right, dude. You know, I spent almost $200 on you motherfuckers for them to go
at least give you a canned response or something, dude.
And my 6-year-old keyboard and mouse from Logitech that is about less than half the cost is still perfectly functioning.
What, they got some hipster that responded to you or something?
If you cannot properly respond or do something for that person at that time, don't say anything.
Exactly.
Don't open your damn mouth at all. You know? So, like the person I talked to that for the RMA, she was perfectly cool. She was perfectly fine, and I was non-nasal to her in any. I know it seems like I would be, but I'm not, because I've worked tech. I've worked, you know, like phone banks type stuff, like customer service stuff. I've done those jobs. I would never give people shit for doing their job, even if they're having a bad day. I'm just going to be like, all right, you probably hate your life right now. That's cool. I understand that. I'm going to do what you need me to do. You tell me, do I need to call back? Not a problem. I'll call back. I'll call another number. Not a problem. I'm actually very good with that stuff. What I'm not good with is people that are assholes for no reason to their customers, you know, or have shitty service. Clearly, their quality control is lacking. Yeah. Right. So, no. Shout out to Corsair for being pieces of shit with their keyboard and mouse peripherals. And what they could have done is like, you know what? We'll waive that because both of your fucking devices within 6 months are broken, and they approve the RMAs, so they know it's a problem. And you can search for these problems online, and you can see online that there clearly is a quality assurance issue there. They could have said, you know what? Well, yeah, whatever. We'll waive that like deposit hold or whatever. Something.
Oh, I had problems. I had tech problems this week with AverMedia, man.
Oh yeah.
Why AverMedia makes great capture cards. Why is their software such shit? They need to fire their software guy. Yeah. I mean, I'm just like, their team that develops their software, they have really good hardware.
Yeah.
Their software is like fucking inept. I mean, it's unbelievable, man.
Yeah.
What
did you end up having to do with that?
I still can't get the software to work. Luckily, I don't need the software. I can just tie it into GameShow or OBS. But I couldn't get the damn thing to even show up. I couldn't get the drivers installed. The AverMedia LGX stream, and I had to, of course, Windows 10 solve my problem. Still Windows 10, but
so you're on Windows 10
you unfortunately have to take the time to send all that crap back, man.
Yeah.
That fucking sucks.
Yeah,
dude.
And I work, you know, I'm a developer too, so it's hard for me to decide. Like, I'm not going to do the Rush service because I do have other keyboards, but you know what? I spent this goddamn amount of money on a keyboard and mouse. That's insane. That's insane. So
Diggy said, "Thanks for your money, hombre."
Yeah, exactly. It's like, yo, bro, thanks for your money. Sucks you're having problems.
Grammaton Dryad said, "Windows 10 solved my problem." That's probably something
that's scary.
People haven't heard that much, but yeah, it did. It solved my driver issue.
That's scary to hear that.
Installed the drivers.
That Windows fixed something.
It just fixed. It fixed something that Windows 7. I could not get the fucking. I couldn't get the drivers installed. I tried for 10 hours. I took a day off work to try to get the fucking drivers installed in that thing. I couldn't do it. I was ready to pull what hair I had left out, and it was fucking crazy. And that shit just drives me nuts when I can't figure that out. And then, bam, Windows 10, the blue light came on, drivers installed, bam, 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 everything's good, you know. Bill Gates gave to charity, you know, life's good or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? And, you know, but the goddamn software still doesn't work. So. Windows 10 apparently can't fix that, so, you know.
Yeah. It's scary to hear that Windows fixed anything for anyone.
I was shocked. It was my I put out a tweet on Twitter, on the Twitters or whatever, and I said, this is my, like, fucking last desperate attempt, you know, before I sell the thing back on eBay. But,
Damn.
Anyway.
I'm going to get that info for you, Phil.
Your
That's
model
what I have.
of...
I spent, I can tell you what I spent on it, by the way, too. It is a Corsair Strafe mechanical gaming keyboard, Cherry MX Blue, CH9000.
About $90, isn't it? Or maybe more.
Yeah, $100.
Yeah.
$100. $100 for a fucking keyboard that's gonna shit itself within a few months. Yeah. That hurts me because I work. Everyone, well, I don't know about everyone. I definitely work. Anyone that works hard for their money, you feel that dollar.
Yeah.
Every dollar that gets, and the other one,
Yep.
the Corsair mouse that I got, I'll post the name here. There you go. And that little gem was $54.99. Ended up being $81.16 with tax and
That little gem.
shipping.
That little gem.
Yeah, that I cannot scroll up with because it jumps down. It literally, like I try scrolling up, and it goes up a couple of, and then it jumps down like 6.
Hey, maybe it's a driver problem, and Windows 10 will fucking fix it all.
You stop yourself, Count. No, you will not get them off of the hook for their bad quality assurance. You will
Let me
not.
call him for you. I'll call him for you, Janser,
please
dude.
do.
Look, hombre. I'll call him for you. We'll
No.
get that all.
No, I'm gonna get a tweet. Yo, bro, we heard you're having some problems.
Yo, bro. Yeah, what's
Sucks
up
for
with
you.
your piece of shit, dude?
You can check with our
Hang
RMA
10.
department. See you later. No, catch you
I'm
later.
going to Starbucks, man. Yeah.
We're gonna go have some burritos.
You sound like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You know that, right?
Well, I'm practicing
Yeah,
for the Twitch.
that's what we're doing.
The
Voice
Twitch
acting.
voice acting
Yeah.
channel. Yeah.
See, we're on the right. You and I are on the same wavelength. We're going to do that, Jans. We're going to do voice acting.
Oh yeah. I'm down for it. People have gone to my live streams like gaming, and they're like, "You sound like you would work really well for certain types of commercials." And I was like, I did that one about dildos that one time. All right, I'm not gonna do it again. I know what they're getting or they're on with. I'm not.
All right then.
I'm not. I'm just saying.
Well,
no, I
people
hear
could
you.
be. Yeah.
You learn
All right.
something new every day.
Yeah. That's fair enough. So that's what I got.
You're the dildo spokesman
The
now? Is
dildozer?
that what
Yeah.
you're saying? Dildozer?
I did that one. Just the one. Yeah. Order yours today.
Are you
That's
having
what it was.
erection problems?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Count Chocula?
Well,
Yeah.
my
Get
one
the,
line
get the
was
blue pill.
order yours today. That's what I did, and that's pretty much. Yeah, that's pretty much.
Is your
You know-
wife very unsatisfied like Count Chocula is? Does she
Creepy.
has to go hunt Pokemon Go's? Yeah.
Creepy. I want to actually read on Twitch, but it's perfectly fine to put an entire like
I
2
wanna do a
pounds,
comic book.
what
I
6
wanna do a
pounds of
comic book
spaghetti
reading
into your
channel.
mouth. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
perfectly fine to put 6 pounds of spaghetti into your mouth, but you cannot read the
Right.
classics. You
I just
cannot
want to do a
read
comic
anything.
book. Yeah, I want to do a comic book reading.
Yeah,
on
I would love to
Twitch. That
read
would be
like
fucking awesome.
H.P. Lovecraft stuff, or the original Sherlock Holmes stuff. I have like the unedited, all the original stories in one book. I like that. I'm a fucking nerd. I love that. I would love to read that stuff, but I can't.
I want to like do classic comics from like the Silver Age of Marvel
There you
on
go.
Twitch. That would be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to hear my hillbilly ass fucking read.
No, people like your voice. They like the levels
No,
that it gets to.
no,
Oh,
that's-
yes, they do. People have told
Yes,
me.
they do.
They absolutely do. Yep, they like the levels, the range that you have. So people
It's-
like that
it's,
deep,
it's
sexy
heartwarming
voice.
to know.
To me,
Really?
you sound
You're
like a
fucking
rock
stretching
monster.
now.
To me, you sound like a gravel monster. Like,
That could be the thing.
Yeah,
not,
you could.
Not John Carpenter's, but Ben Grimm.
it's true. It's true.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe the next Fantastic Four movie, I can do the whatever.
Graham, it's true.
Whatever, man.
Graham,
I'm
it's true.
stretching.
You can do anything on Twitch until you get caught. But I'll tell you what, the reason why I don't
Hitbox
is because I have a Twitch moderator, like a global admin following me. So I'm a little bit paranoid about doing whatever I want, So,
I'm thinking about trying it on Hitbox. Hitbox will let you have a fucking hot tub party.
Oh,
I mean,
right.
you can.
Yeah, they don't even care anymore.
Oh,
I've seen
really?
it.
Yeah,
Where's
I've seen
that?
a guy
that site has
video
gone down,
gaming out of a
down
fucking
the dumps.
Yeah, I've seen
That's true. I should do that.
If
I'm
you
gonna
can't
do that
beat
on
them, join
Hitbox.
them though.
The downside is I don't have any of the people
They're
on
Europeans
Hitbox that I would have on my side, from the Twitch.
Right.
So it would be all I'd be talking.
Hitbox is like 90% Europeans.
Honestly, in my personal, I think Twitch should have just been a gaming live streaming site. Like, I appreciate them opening themselves up to other types of streams, but this originated as a gaming streaming site, and now they're trying to become more like YouTube. Really,
well, remember what I said earlier about? Wait a second, you have a little bit of money that I'd like some of that. How do I? That's all I have to do. Fine. Yeah. Okay, let's bring in the eating people. Let's get them to eat a sandwich. I don't care. They got viewers. That's great. Bring them over here. Yeah.
Hey, one night, let's do a hot dog eating contest on the B3 GamingCast. We'll get webcams.
God.
We'll get webcams to do a hot dog eating contest or something.
I think I would rather shoot myself. But
we'll all do one then.
We can eat cubes of cheese, and I think I'd be okay with that.
Oh my lord!
I will melt an entire thing of cheese in a bowl and eat that.
Wait a second. Nathan's hot dog eating contest. Let's see. Nathan's cube eating. It just doesn't have the same ring to it, Janzer.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
That's fair enough. We'll
anyway.
find something else.
Anyway.
Too.
Speaking of finding other things, to end off the podcast, I received a very interesting question online concerning games.
Man. That's why it's all loose like this. I'm gonna teach you how to properly transition without punching people in the face.
Okay, how about I just don't speak?
No,
you're
good.
But
you don't. You're learning. You're learning.
I'm saying words. I'm talking.
Speaking of meat tubes. Oh God. Anyways, go ahead.
Oh
please.
Lord. I received a very interesting question online concerning gaming, and it really got me thinking. I was asked, when you play a single-player game, like a campaign of sorts, what's more important to you, journey or the ending? And that really got me thinking, because there are some games where the ending really wrapped up the game nicely and it genuinely affected my experience. There were other games where the ending I just didn't really care for, and the journey was what was most important, and I kept re-experiencing the journey. So.
That's kind of a weird question, though.
No, it's like sex. Which one, is it the act itself or is it the finish? It's like a good movie.
The build-up.
Yeah.
Like a good movie or a good story or a good song. Well, no.
So with a single-player campaign game. So
to me, the journey's always better than...
I think so,
You know what I mean?
I think so, too.
The struggle. It's about the struggle, man. It's, you know what I mean?
It doesn't always have to be a struggle.
Well, I mean, I'm using that. It's not... Okay, the journey. How's that? It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be a struggle.
Unless you're talking about
kind of the.
Oh, never mind. All right, fair.
I'm not saying it's actually a struggle, but you know.
Sometimes it is. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, sometimes it is. Yeah.
Did you see that kind of reminds? Oh, I'm sorry, Gamertron. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead, man.
I don't want to derail too much. That's why.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what games can you name off a single player game where that had a very memorable journey, where the journey was most important to you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not necessarily a single-player game. See, I thought you were talking about disappointing endings in a game. The first time when you, I'll say a game where Dying Light. Dying Light was really cool until the ending. I thought the ending was garbage. The little quick time event thing at the end. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Single-player game.
Dying Light counts. Dying Light counts.
Yeah, but I'd have to think about that. That's kind of tough. Nothing really comes out at me.
Well, what have you played in the past couple of years that single player?
Bloodborne, which I didn't finish.
Right.
I got frustrated at the final
Doom,
boss.
Doom.
The Doom ending it didn't blow me away or anything.
Mm-hmm.
It was okay, but I had more fun and a struggle with some of the other bosses before I got to the final boss. Yeah. I didn't think the final boss was that tough on Doom.
Right.
Oh, it all depends on how you approach the.
A lot of people had a much easier time than I did.
But Doom's a great example, I think, where the journey, I love Doom, and I think Doom's ending, kind of fits the game in a way, but I can understand why people would be disappointed by the ending. But Doom is a game where the journey is what matters, like the journey of slaughtering the hordes of hell. Another game, and I think Janzer can agree with me here, a game where I think the journey kind of outdid the ending, Wolfenstein: The New Order. Where I like the ending of the game, don't get me wrong, was good, but I think just the journey itself of experiencing the New Order was just powerful. It was a powerful experience, a powerful journey to go through. The story of B.J. Blazkowicz versus the Nazi Empire, and how they take over the world, and you're forming the resistance. Like I think the journey of that game was a great example of.
I think the ending was very good too, though. It's hard for me to disassociate that because it flowed very well, and I think that if you have a story, I think you can. First off, Tetris, that's a game, but you don't really think about the ending of it. So you kind of have to split, here. Like you've got puzzle games, racing games don't really, you know what I'm saying? So I think we're really more talking about like story-driven games. Clearly, heavy story-driven games. The Last of Us, for example. I mean, even the Last of Us deal. I just watched the ending of The Last of Us DLC again for the second time because somebody on Twitch, Twitchy Uncle C on Twitch, he was playing that, and it's a heavy story. That just the DLC portion of it with Ellie and her friend. It's just it's such, and it leaves on such a heavy note as well. But the entire fucking playthrough is. You kind of feel it. It's that impending doom, You're just waiting for that shoe to drop. You know what's going to happen, and you don't want to see it, but you know what's going to happen because that game is brutal, I think that would qualify as one of the original. But then there's also games that have multiple endings, like the Silent Hill series. They always have multiple stories.
Like Outlast. I don't know if you guys finished Outlast, but
I've seen Outlast.
I hated the ending to that. Freaking hated the way they turned that story. I love playing up to the ending. But then
So there's a game where the journey outlasted the ending.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
That's kind of a strange question. I mean,
no, I think it's a good question.
I think it's a good question
because I think there's a lot of people out there.
You have to factor it within, like what I said, story-driven games, because you can't really apply it to like some others. But no, it's a good
question. Rainbow Six Siege, you can't apply it to that, for instance.
Yeah, exactly. And it is a bigger question than gaming in general. That's a more philosophical, general topic. Yeah.
Because there are some people out there where the ending is paramount. Like, if it's a bad ending, then it spoils their entire experience. Like, I'm not that way.
I'm not that way.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know what
I'm disappointed in endings, but, you know what I mean? But, yeah. That's not the reason I play the story game, just to see the ending,
Yeah.
Like for instance, like to give an example, sorry to interrupt you, Jenter. No,
please do.
With Mass Effect 3, for a lot of people, the ending to Mass Effect 3... I was hoping we
could get away from that, but it's like the only one that anyone can talk about. Go ahead.
I'll move away from that as quickly as possible. But for that game, for a lot of people, the ending to Mass Effect 3, like, it ruined the entire game for them. Like, if that's them, I may disagree, but if the ending to Mass Effect 3 spoiled your experience, well, I can't stop you. If you didn't like the ending to Mass Effect 3 and it affected you that much, well, okay, then, like, I disagree. Like, for Mass Effect 3, like, it was the journey of the...
Yeah, I mean, if you have a lot of fun and a struggle getting up to the ending, I wouldn't say how the ending would wipe all that out. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Well, maybe that's the thing. Maybe that's the whole problem, is that they did such a shitty job with it that it really kind of did ruin that journey for those players. I kind of can understand that. I really actually kind of can. But then again, I've also gained some perspective in life to where I now have this attitude about things, which I've related before, which is... just because it changed, it happens a lot in Warframe, just because something changes in a game like Warframe years down the line, that doesn't ruin all the time that you played up until that point.
Right, exactly.
Time,
right.
Or in Marvel Heroes or whatever, it just, Yeah, all of the time that you spent in it that was great. You can't say that was shitty just because a change happened later on. It's like, oh, this game sucks. Really? Does it suck? Does it suck all that time that you played, the 2,000, 3,000 hours? Does that suck? Or are you just saying you don't like this change? But I don't know.
Exactly.
I haven't played Mass Effect 3. I just played 2, and I loved the shit out of 2. But that's the only one I played. Yeah. That's the only one I played. So
I actually bought those.
Yeah,
I bought them all, and I don't have them installed yet. I'm waiting for my new rig.
Did you see that? Was it, just curiosity, was it from that tweet that I sent out about like they were on discount on Amazon, or?
It might have been.
Maybe. Anyways, it was because it was cheap. It was like $3 or something,
Yeah, it was.
You're not going to give me credit?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
No respect. No respect. Any credit. No respect. No, it was Janzer. You put that out there, so I was like, okay, I can. My cheap ass can buy that shit. Haven't installed them yet, though. So.
Cheap. All right.
Oh man,
that was a great question. Actually, I think that was a pretty damn good question.
I thought so too. It's why I brought it up. The joys of owning a YouTube channel where everyone wants to ask you everything, so you have a ton to go off of.
It's that humble brag again.
Wasn't intentional. I apologize.
I get a little poking in there once in a while. Come on, I've been very good this podcast. You have to admit.
You have.
It
has been awesome.
I've been very good.
Podcast.
You know what it is?
Right.
I deflected it some off of you, Cameron, and gave some to Count, and he's like, "Well, fuck that guy now."
No, I like it. I like controversy. I don't shy away from it.
Clearly, and if anyone wants to hear some of that, just listen to episode 13 from the B3G GamingCast.
Bother me.
Wow. You know what? I went back and I looked, and episode 9 is not up there anymore.
Oh.
Yeah, I gotta...
it was. Maybe they took it down for some reason. Oh. It's not up there
and
anymore.
That's kind of strange. That's the one Gamertron took over, too.
Was it?
Oh my goodness!
Isn't that the Gamertron takes over?
I'd have to go look
cast
again.
Or something like that. I think.
That's no good. We need that.
I think Gamertron.
That's
very interesting. I'll see what iTunes says about him. Yeah.
Sounds good. Right.
He might lose his YouTube channel over it.
Whoa!
Wait, what? What?
Hey,
I'm joking. I have no idea what I'm talking about.
One bad move.
Scared the shit out of me there, Count.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Count.
Oh no.
Where can people get our podcast again if they want to listen to it, like download it? Where is that again? What website was that?
It's podbean.com/GamingCast plus iTunes. You can search. Is that what you're after?
Yeah, that's what I'm after.
Normally I would do this. That's probably why he's not ready for it.
Yeah, he threw me for a loop. I know what you're getting at. We're also available on Stitcher. We are also now on Stitcher. You can download that app. They have a phone app, Android and iTunes. You can get our app off of Podbean.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
B3GamingCast.podbean.com.
.com. Yep. What did I say? / That's
you said podbean.com /
Yeah, that's not it.
It's okay.
Yeah, that's a yeah.
Yeah.
Gamertron threw me a curveball there. I wasn't prepared for that. The whiskey's kicking in a little bit, you know.
Fair enough.
And me and my wife are gonna go to Steak and Shake here in a little bit, and I gotta drive, so I better. I better chill.
Steak and Shake? What is this?
Yeah, it's a 24-hour little like hamburger place where you can go in and eat and have milkshakes and stuff. And
fair enough.
I promised her I'd take her tonight. And,
do all the milkshakes bring the boys to the yard?
I don't know.
Are they better than yours?
That's pretty good.
That
Gamertron.
almost like.
That's pretty
Are
good.
you serious? Pause.
That's pretty good. I was
just
gonna
to
try
hear
to,
you say that though, Gamertron was worth
tried to come up something. I tried to come up with something snappy in return. I was like, I got nothing.
Clearly, we're flagging here. So, yes, you can find us on iTunes. Just search B3 GamingCast. You can download us on your Android apps. Use Podcast Addict, and I just searched for B3 GamingCast. You can have that single out just the iTunes list in case you can't find us. And of course, B3GamingCast.podbean.com. And yeah, as Count said, you can find us on Stitcher, which was new to me. But
yeah, it's a popular platform. Like I noticed a lot of big time podcasts are on there. So
nice, getting up there with the big boys and girls.
Yeah.
And ball-headed squirrels. Something I've said since I was a kid. I don't know why.
It's awesome.
How do you think this went today?
This podcast? I think this was a fucking phenomenal podcast.
Wonderful. Where can people find you?
YouTube at The Gamertron Show. Don't worry, there's no other social media. There's just The Gamertron Show on YouTube and Twitch if you like to see me live stream every once in a while.
All right, wonderful. Count?
I had one other thing I wanted to say about Pokemon Go.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Let's do it.
Okay.
I haven't had enough
There
of this
is
topic.
now people that are starting, I guess these guys are starting their own little business where they will drive people around.
Fuck my life.
At a slow pace. So
Fuck my life.
makes the app think that you're walking, where you can do all your Pokemon stuff. It's $30. It's like an Uber service. $30 an hour. They will drive you around town slowly to simulate the walking for the Pokemon. I had forgotten. I had read about that the other day, and that's pretty ingenious. I mean, they're going to make money off this craze.
That hustle.
Yeah, there you go. So, but you can follow me on Twitter at @followthecount, and you can follow me on my YouTube, which is you can just YouTube search Count Chocula. You'll find me. I've been trying to do some Riders of Icarus. I've been really busy working overtime. I had to work today, actually. So trying to do some I'm trying to shift my channel to Riders of Icarus a little bit. So
nice.
It's kind of I'm lucky to get a video up a week. 1 or 2 a week. I'm lucky to do that.
What's your Twitch channel?
My Twitch channel is hitbox. No, I'm just kidding. Twitch.tv / Count Chocula.
There we go.
I want to start YouTube streaming, though, more.
Yeah, me too. I want to do that as well.
Yep.
I just say that and I haven't done it. And, of course, you can find any of my crap on any of the platforms, Janzer247. That's it.
Your stuff's not crap.
Subjective. Thanks, everyone, for listening. If you did, hanging out in the live chat.
Your stuff is good.
If you did, you can find us, B3GamingCast, on twitch.tv. So, yeah, come hang out with us. Well, we might get into some giveaways at some point. I don't know. I feel like saying that just to get some hype, Just want people to think that we're going to do it. We're not going to do it.
We're going to do it.
You're starting an application for a new member to replace me, right? That's going out this week.
No,
auditions?
We're going to have a corpse.
Are we doing auditions?
We're going to have a corpse sitting there. What do you think of that, Count? Whiskey. My cat.
Pokemon Go.
Pokemon Go, yeah. Marvel Heroes, yeah.
Pokemon.
We'll just have your channel with Riders of Icarus and your person dead just laying on the ground. And that's going to be in the corner, bottom right corner.
My shit is pretty much dead anyway, so yeah.
Oh, that's not true. We go and we hang out with you. What are you talking about, man? The B3 gaming community hangs out, and yeah, we support.
Playing Evolve was fun this week, though.
I'm starting to feel like it's turning mushy. Ugh, let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah, you're right.
Thanks, everyone, for watching.
Too much feel good.
I love you all. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Hearts, sunshine, rainbows, puppies.
You're really pushing it with that.
Unicorns, too. Really? God damn it, Gamertron.
Really pushing it with that stuff.
Yeah, come on now.
Fair enough. One of us has to be like that. Thanks, everyone, for listening.
That's true.
We'll see you next time.